Hello, Aries. Welcome to another week, June 29th to July 5th. We have a lot going on this week. We have the full moon Capricorn, Leo, Jupiter going into Leo, and of course, Mercury retrograde, right? You'll be hearing it in my voice throughout the reading. So let's take a look at your advice for the week and pull some cards, the energy, the main challenge, and what's coming towards you in life and love, and your physical, what could be manifested in your physical reality. Trust your vision is your guidance for the week. Creativity, fire energy showing up for you. This is right up your alley, right? So, and we have creative expression. So this week, regardless of everything that's going on or the different things that show up, you are being asked to still show up and express yourself. And even if the outside reality is kind of reflecting back to you, not what you want to see, right? Or not what you expected. That does not mean that your vision is not coming to fruition. So you are being asked to hold on extra tightly when it comes to your goals and not giving up. And being creative when it comes to finding other ways around your problems this week. It does not mean, what this is telling me is that if you have a block or a roadblock or something comes up that is out of your control, that is not a no. That is not a sign that says this must not be for me. It's just life. It's one of those life twists and turns. And Mercury retrograde wants us to stop and slow down and review anything that's going on in our life that may need to be buttoned up or fine-tuned or just understood before we move forward, so we don't take with us unnecessary worries or things in our life, right? So the slowing down or the review could make you feel like something is wrong, especially if it's coming towards a relationship, or something that you're working really hard towards and it feels like it's stalling out. You may immediately think, because it could trigger a wound, and that's Mercury in Cancer. It could trigger something, make you feel an old way again, and something feels the same as it did before. So if there's got to be something wrong with this, right? So be mindful of that. So let's pull out tarot and see. Now, with the astrology itself, the energy, your career and home life is really being magnified. So there could be a push-pull between, what's going on in your private life and what's going on in your public life, or some of you always battling trying to balance work and life in general. So that could also be an obstacle for you this week. The Lovers card, overall energy, so relationships, where's my heart? What does my heart desire? What is it that I really want? Am I being logical about my decisions this week? So it's definitely going to also feel like if you're going against the grain and you're feeling like your heart's just not in something, that may show up as well too. So you may be making some important choices around relationships. Is my heart really in this? Am I feeling my other person? Do they feel the same? So we're tightening up the grip here on relationships as well, which could be a very good, like in your private life, in your home life, this could be seeing each other for who you are and having a conversation to fix a relationship or fix your home up so that you guys can move in together, or just set your schedule so you see more of each other. But there is making choices regarding relationships and how we're making it fit into our life this week. You have Gemini, you have Virgo energy there. You have Gemini energy there. So your energy this week is showing me the King of Cups. All right. So this is also career as well. So maybe something peaking in your career, feeling very good about a position that's possibly opening up, or just feeling really good at what it is that you have been working towards and doing. And the King of Cups is showing you in your feelings a little bit, so things that are happening at work may really hit home for you. So some things might be usually when it comes to work, you might just be like, all right, it is another day. Maybe I heard something or something's going on, or I'm waiting for something, and normally it doesn't bother you. But this week, week you could tend to read into things when it comes to the King of Cups, right? Really feel things deeply. So if people are showing up in a certain way, be mindful that your intuition is on point with this guy here too as well, but also that you could be overly sensitive. Right, so he does get sensitive. It has to feel real good. But on the positive note, like I was saying here with the Lovers card, this guy here who's representing you right now also is choosing wisely, because people, jobs, choices that we're making, if they're not vibing on a deep emotional level for you, if they're not feeling like a hell yes, then this is where the choice is coming in. It could be just a knowledge drop or a seed that's being planted, where later on you may notice yourself veering in a new direction because something just felt off this week, or somebody just feels off, right? You're not feeling a balance. So what's the main challenge? I feel like I've already nailed that one on the head. I tend to, in my readings, jump ahead and just continue to channel. So the difficult part here for you this week could be getting past something, or being able to move past something, or feeling stuck or stagnant when it comes to waiting for communication, or getting on the same page as other people. You may feel like people are still not getting you, or you're over explaining yourself. You just seems like you're fixing issues or fixing problems that you thought you already dealt with. That could be a retrograde thing coming back around, or people just trying to skirt past and ignore things and act like nothing's going on, right? Whereas, the Six of Swords, it's hard for you just to roll over something. I'm not just going to tuck that under the rug. We need to discuss this. You're confusing me. So if somebody is, or somebody's intentions, remember the King of Cups, you're going to be able to really vibe and feel somebody's intentions and motives. You'll be suspicious. Try not to be overly suspicious with this energy, but if somebody's motives aren't clear, or if somebody's talking about you, or you feel like somebody's saying something behind your back, or you're just noticing some unhealthy noise around you, it's going to be hard for you to just kind of skirt past that and not call it out. All right. You're going to be able to see beneath the surface of who you can trust and who you can't trust. But the challenge for you is maybe how you deal with it this week, right? Are you able to sit with it? Try not to ignore it or just skirt past it, or let people just kind of skirt past things. But I would acknowledge it if you're starting to see or question people's motives this week. What's coming towards you in life and then in love? And I see 10 of Cups and a Death card. All right. So yes, that does show a possible ending to a relationship, or a phase of a relationship could be ending this week, or the beginning phases of it. Remember, some things just don't happen overnight, right? We do have the full moon coming up though. So something could be illuminated around your family home, and like I said at the beginning, wanting to fix your relationship, the urge to fix your relationship, the urge to deal with your home and decorate your home and reorganize your home so that it's more comforting for you and your family. So rearranging your space, right? And making a decision about relationships. Am I being seen? Is this relationship fulfilling me? Is this relationship headed in the direction that I want to see? I want to see it all come together, right? So I am seeing it in love and life. We're seeing a death, all right? So some of you could be, dealing with a loss of a person, place, or a thing in your life. It happens, it's life, right? And you could be dealing with that process, moving past it or trying to move past it. But I like to keep it a little bit light in my readings, don't like to do all that. So to me, it's more of a psychological or pattern death, right? So it means something that's not working with you in relationships is going to come to an end. It has to, because you can't unsee something. You can't unfeel something. You can't unknow something. All right. So it's called for transformation, which is a good thing, right? But for a lot of you, if there is a situation that's finally ending, it still may come with some grief, right? So we are seeing a very strong Scorpio energy coming through for you, which does bring, Pluto and Marsy energy. which can bring very powerful transformative change, but can also bring up some of our deepest issues in our psyche that we need to resolve. Now, how are other people coming towards you? How are other people showing up for you? Now, I do see the Three of Pentacles. So you have a lot of support around you. There is help around you. There is people. There's a conversation, collaboration. And again, this is working together and fixing things, right? So a relationship on the mend, a relationship that really wants to get to the root of the issue. What's our plan for the future? What are we doing here? So people around you are really the people that are meant to be in your life right now that you might be seeing through are really there to support you and see you grow. So being a team player. And maybe a lot of people expect a lot from you too. So be mindful of that. That could also be you're fixing everybody's problems. It feels like everybody's coming to you with their problems and nobody can see that you have your own, right? But you're always fixing everybody else's. So I am seeing here that people may be coming to you for support this week, maybe hanging on you, making decisions, looking for help. And also it can be reciprocated. So make sure you are feeling like the support as well. And so even the Six of Swords here too, it does feel like if there are people around you that you don't trust their motive, you will figure it out with the way they show up, what they ask of you this week. All right. The way people present themselves, how much effort they're putting in this week is really going to show up. You will see the difference, the contrast. So with that being said, we do have Lover's card. I'm going to pull a quick reading for each Aries through Pisces. All right. We are looking at this energy here that I pulled up for relationship. Obviously shows an end to a certain pattern cycle. And for some of you, it shows we need to figure out, we need to get help. We need to work together. We need to figure out if we have enough in common to make this work. So that is the theme for Aries through Pisces. So let's start with Aries. If you're connected to another Aries this week, I see the Judgment card. You know, remember we have the Lovers at the bottom here. So we're making important choices. Is this something that's just for today, or is this something that's going to be worth the investment, making a decision? Is it going to move into long term, right? So you could be making an important decision this week when it comes to another Aries. You know, is this meant to be short-lived, or is this something we can take a look at and renew this faith in this relationship and see where it goes, right? It also can be a renewal or forgiveness, or, you know, deciding to step up and face some sort of truth, right? And you're also getting that up here, Aries, when it comes to not being able to unsee something. So we have to go in a new direction. Taurus, Strength card. So you and Taurus pulling through whatever challenges you have. All right, there's an attraction there. There's even a healing. There's even something about this relationship that you bring some sense of healing and comfort to one another. But there's always pride and ego that may get in the way as well with this card. And sometimes it's about our approach. So are you approaching coming on too strong, or, you know, afraid to be vulnerable? You know, figure out which is what. But Taurus could be the same way. But this card tells me you guys are hanging in there. You'll figure it out. Gemini, Five of Swords. So Gemini could be the one that maybe you need to question. All right, I am seeing Five of Swords. It seems like you have a lot more questions than answers. You're always explaining yourself or trying to figure things out or work your words so you can try and get some answers. All right, you just feel very confused about a Gemini. Right. And it's something that maybe you have felt for a while. And it just seems like you're not getting an answer that you're looking for. And most likely it's because they don't know what the hell they want. They're going through some confusion right now, a lot of stress, and the situation, you know, there is a throwing the white flag in if they can't figure it out, or we press too hard. So it is showing this week that there could be disappointment or discouragement, or miscommunication with the Gemini this week. This does not guarantee or the outcome or tell you what's going to happen, but it does tell you that this is what's going on. So be mindful, and not to get pulled into any kind of chaos, but also not to ignore the problem, because something is showing up that needs to be dealt with. Cancer, 5 of Wands, kind of the same energy with the Cancer as well too. Remember, there's something that's aggravating you about a Cancer. There's some tension there. There's you feel like maybe you're putting most of the work in, or they're very challenging. They challenge you, right? Now, your biggest challenge of the week with relationships is the Six of Swords. You know, feeling like you can't move forward, can't move on from something because something's not sitting right, right? And the same thing with the Cancer. So you may be sitting in this energy until you resolve it, because I feel like there's something you can't unknow, and you're needing to get to the bottom line. You're needing to figure something out because this is getting too heavy for you. So I do see challenges and conflict with the Cancer. Now, Leo coming back around, maybe for a do-over, right? You got a Leo here. You guys both feel some pull to one another. And it's another chance for you guys to resolve some issue, or another chance to give this a chance. Virgo, the Hermit card. Virgo may go solo. You may not hear from a Virgo this week. They're doing a little soul searching. All right, Virgo does its thing. It needs some space. It pulls away. I wouldn't take this personal right now. I mean, obviously, it's not easy for another person to handle when somebody else pulls away, but everybody has their free will, and maybe they need it right now. And this could be a very important space between the two of you. Libra, 10 of Pentacles. Libra feels like home. It looks like you and Libra could be reconstructing plans for the future. You guys may even be moving in together or shaping your life around each other and deciding to spend more quality time at home together. Scorpio, I see the Page of Swords. So a lot of talk when communication with Scorpio. It looks like they're pretty worried about something they want to tell you, or they just want to, get something off their chest, or just open up conversation with you. Sagittarius, King of Pentacles. So things look pretty grounded with a Sagittarius this week. Taking practical steps forward. You guys seem to be invested in one another. They care about you. And, slow and steady progress with the Sag. Capricorn, 7 of Wands. We're seeing some defensive energy with a Capricorn. So be prepared to defend your stand, your ground, right? And this is, taking your power back, because it looks as though both of you guys are kind of on a standoff, right? But we need to make a choice. Now, this card tells me it's challenging and it's a new problem, but it's one that is at this point is worth fighting for. All right. So Capricorn, Aquarius, 7 of Swords, right? You got a question in Aquarius, right? There's a lot of manipulation. A lot of manipulation with an Aquarius. Maybe they're just not being fully honest or transparent, but I definitely would trust your instincts with an Aquarius this week. You got 3 sevens in a row. So Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, it looks questionable as well too. It's like, what do they want? What do they want? Are they keeping you stuck? Is Pisces keeping you stuck because they won't make a decision about what they want? How long are you going to wait in this stagnancy? All right. So you could be feeling some tension or restriction when it comes to a Pisces, Aquarius, and Capricorn, but also Gemini and Cancer seems to be the other signs that may cause you some grief this week. I love you guys. All right, Taurus, June 29th through July 5th. Let's get the oracle for the week, and then the energy main challenge, and what's coming towards you in life and love. What could be manifesting in your physical reality? All right, curiosity, open your mind and live into it. All right, so there could be a lot of what the hell is this moments this week, right? We do have the full moon, Capricorn, Leo, Jupiter going into Leo, and Mercury retrograde. So plans may change, things may happen, doors may open. Slow down this week too. I just see a lot of fast energy coming through as, new things are coming up and plans are shifting. And it sort of feels like kind of going through, it feels a little unstable, maybe just a lot of movement, maybe that you're not used to. And, so there could be a change of course, a trip coming in, movement, going somewhere, and not quite sure what's going to happen, because usually you're good at or want to know the plan, want to know what's coming up, or, you've been planning something for a while. So this kind of energy shows me there was no room for planning, things coming pretty quick. So when wires cross like this, or a lot of patterns are crossing, we could easily have a lot of tension or miscommunication in accidents, small accidents, oopsie, sorry, when we got a lot of this motion going on. So Mercury retrograde may be messing with you this week. But in a sense, though, live into it. Open your mind to see what's really out there, what's really trying to come into your life. Why is all this redirection happening, and why is there so much uncertainty, but yet there's a lot, it feels like up in a cloud in a way. So you are being asked to be curious this week and question things and see where it takes you rather than run from things. All right. See. Don't judge a book by its cover. Also, 6 of Wands. You got a lot of attention this week. You have the 10 of Cups too. So home, right? It seems like home there's some big wins when it comes to a home. Being seen, being recognized, maybe something going on in the home front. So this looks like it's going to be big. It looks like a blessing, though. Getting together with family, doing something around the home, for some of you, it could be a move or renovation or bringing somebody home to your home. Finally getting through some challenges and some little wins when it comes to the home. So you may have been fixing things or challenged with other people, or there's been a lot of pressure, a lot of things coming at you. And it looks like finally we're able to, maybe succeed at something. Feel seen. This can also be the energy of the week too. Focus on the little wins. You're getting the right attention, the right people seeing you. Work may improve. There could be a status change. But what I'm seeing is, you might be on the road to something, right? Something big in your life, but you're not necessarily seeing the outcome, seeing the long-term goal show up just yet. So you got to kind of focus on all the little wins that are happening in the meantime, one step at a time. So this week could be a little win when it comes to the people that you get together with. It's feeling a little bit more secure, feeling a little bit more like it's coming together, your relationships, very comfortable. So what's your biggest challenge this week? The 7 of Wands, letting it in. The biggest challenge is going to be defensiveness for you. Feeling like there's a lot of pressure coming at you. And now you got the 6 of Wands. Now you got another problem, another challenge. And going up here, open your mind and live into it. Maybe some of you feel like there's just one thing after another. You get through one and then all of a sudden, well, why should I even get through this problem? Because another problem is going to show up. And it looks like things could get a little tough when it comes to, all right, you get a promotion, you're getting promoted, yay, but now all of a sudden life gets harder. So be careful what you ask for. It's like things could get a little tough because you could be taking on more responsibilities. Be mindful with the challenge this week is text being read wrong. Being stubborn because plans change or people piss you off, road rage. Conversations going haywire because, we're taking things personal. So make sure I feel like you're getting hit with the retrograde. So slow down and just double check before you send or you commit to any belief or create any unnecessary challenges that are an illusion just because it's frustration, right? So sometimes things can get, a little intense at times. Who's coming towards you? What's coming towards you in life and love? And I'm seeing the Ace. You get a lot of fire here, Ace and the Moon. All right. So in life, you have a new opportunity. There is something that is brewing. It looks like some opportunity when it comes to being creative, or even something to do with work, you know, a new doorway opening up and a chance for you to check it out. It doesn't mean you have to take it, but something could light some fire, some joy for you. It might be something you've been waiting. You wanted something different when it comes to life. You're needing something, some more fun, some more passion, or something creative. It looks like it's trying to show up for you, right? So an opportunity there, new experiences trying to show up. Now in love, I'm also seeing, if I put them both together here too, there could be somebody cycling around, something getting closer. Remember, you have the 10 of cups, so it feels like something's cycling around you because it wants to get closer. You know, there is some nurturing energy. There is still some uncertainty about where things are going, but maybe there's some good talk coming up, or we're having a conversation around what we need to become closer. And the right people in your life this week too, even though it may feel like sometimes with love, like uncertain about where things are going. I don't know. I know that there's feelings there. I know this person still is in my energy. They circulate, or I'm in this relationship and I know this person loves me. But at the same time, I'm always worried and still focusing on the future, and the anxiety is stealing from your present moment, because I can feel an upgrade coming in, and it's good. It's challenging for you. Your biggest thing is challenge, you know, to keep moving forward and not get defensive if things are not completely clear. You know, sometimes it can seem like, you know, somebody's only half-assing things or being half clear about their motives. But with the moon card, it feels like there's, and the ace of wands, it's like you guys know that something is there. So maybe if we just don't worry about what tomorrow brings just this week, and we allow ourselves to be present and be present with each other, and find comfort in the knowing that we're here together now. This is what's going to bring you guys closer. Look at the 10 of cups. You got mom here too, mom and family showing up for you as well. But we're seeing a lot of growth. The people who already feel like yours are getting closer to you, and things are growing. All right. And so with the moon card, I am seeing in love, and we'll see Aries through Pisces, that there's a possibility that some of you can start worrying. And worry is just a thief, a thief. All right. Be present with your relationships this week. Maybe sparking up a different type of conversation, maybe doing something new, a new experience, maybe trying to go somewhere, and staying out of your reactions, right? Because the 7 of wands can be reactive, emotionally reactive, to your thoughts. And retrogrades, and Cancer retrograde can be somebody who's, you know, old emotions coming up, and we're getting triggered, and we may could be passive aggressive. That's a big one, right? Or we could be very emotionally reactive and regret it afterwards, right? So come back to the 6 of wands, focus on the little wins and the little successes this week. All right. Let's see Aries through Pisces. I got the moon card, Pisces. Cancer showing up for you as well too. I feel like I missed something for you this week. Maybe how to navigate the week. Is that what I usually do? And I have the 8 of wands, which I just feel like I've said everything to you. You got the 6, 7, and 8 of wands showing up for you. So those 3 can be this week for you. A lot of things coming at you at once, a lot of pressure, a lot of intensity. You could lose your shit for some of you if you're dealing with some heavy relational shit. All right. But also you could get stuff done, feel like, just focus, just ride the wave, just be curious, just see where it takes you, just go with the flow of the changing of plans. And it feels like, even travel for some of you guys could be going on a trip, unexpected trip. All right. Just be mindful. I've already said it all. Aries. Queen of Cups. So Aries in their feelings with you. Okay. So now I am picking up for you. We're going to look at we're going to reference the Ace of Wands and the Moon card. And we have the 10 of Cups. All right. Now, obviously, the people who already feel like yours in your life that you really want to connect to, that you really feel connected to, is what's showing up in your reading today. So with an Aries may be sometimes in solitude, trying to figure out their feelings. They have deep feelings for you. And they're showing up in your energy. If they seem a little bit softer, a little bit more vulnerable, or a little bit more sensitive this week, it's because their feelings are growing for you. Taurus, you have the Devil card. All right, the Devil card's in your position, and I just see you could get very frustrated this week. You could get, just feel like everything's coming at you at once. Life in general. Decisions. Everything you have to untangle, just too much. And it could eventually, you could get tempted to lose your shit, get angry, or escape into drinking or whatever it is you do, or, and also you and another Taurus though too could be going through something similar, and you guys could easily trigger each other. All right. So be mindful of that energy that's showing up this week with you and another Taurus. Gemini, 5 of Cups. So Gemini is kind of mulling over something that's recently happened. They're still pouting. They're still sad. They're still feeling guilty about something, regret. And they need to, maybe they need to feel this. They need to feel it so that they know how to approach it. There could be some distance between you and a Gemini right now, but they could be dealing with something personal that is weighing them down. Cancer, I see the 9 of Swords. So you have a lot of regret and anxiety here around a Cancer. Now they may be feeling torn. They can't sleep. They feel restless about something that's happened or something they need to say to you. Now I am picking up this kind of conflict that you're dealing with people. And this week is really going to go back to the Moon card, ask you to stay present. If your Cancer is dealing with, it could even be a physical headache, or the problem between you two are giving them a headache. You're giving them a headache, Taurus, right? Maybe some of you go, I know, all right? Some people deserve the headache. I don't know. I'm not walking your path. But if somebody's in this energy and you keep pushing at it right away out of your anxiety and worry, you may be, you could add more fuel to the fire. And that's that 7 of Wands, where you don't want to regret. You just want to give something a couple days. Leo, 10 of Wands, right? So Leo feeling some pressure as well too. It looks like a lot of fire with the Leo. Either they're under a lot of pressure at work, life, or this relationship is putting a lot of pressure on them. And, the 10 of Wands can be somebody who doesn't ask for help, can do it on their own. So you may not realize it, but your Leo may be dealing with a lot of pressure from the relationship or work, and they're not letting you know. But they're not wanting to give up either. They're trying to carry it as long as they can. But with the 10 of Wands, you can only carry it so long before you finally, look at all this fire, you lose your shit. Doesn't mean you guys don't love each other with that 10 of Cups. Virgo, the Hierophant. So you and a Virgo, I don't know, something spiritual happening here. It's coming together. You guys seem to be ascending, growing, developing something together. You guys have similar values and beliefs. If you don't, this card isn't going to resonate. If you guys don't share the same values and beliefs, there's going to be constant commitment issues and misalignment. But a Virgo, it feels kind of ritualistic, like you guys just show up for each other because you expect each other to be there. All right, so very good energy. You'll make it through whatever difficulties you might be having. Libra, calling for a conversation. Looks like you and Libra need to talk something out. All right. They do have a little worry around them. Some concerns that maybe they want to address. Scorpio, the Chariot card. And where there's a will, there's a way. God's working with you guys. You guys may be going through some obstacles, but stay focused and determined. And there's nothing no storm you guys can't weather. All right. This could be a return too from a Scorpio. If you're at a distance, this card always does show me somebody returning, and they're better. Sagittarius, the Magician card. So you guys are kind of mimicking each other this week. Very attracted, feel a strong pull towards each other. And you guys can make it happen. Looks like Sag's trying to lighten things up and wanting to do something with you or make it work one way or another. Capricorn, Queen of Wands. Capricorn's got a lot of fire too. So you both seem to be on fire, but they are very attracted to you. So it looks like they could be coming in to initiate and actually step up a little more for some of you. Aquarius, Three of Wands. Aquarius kind of hanging out, just trying to play things by ear. You know, you guys are making progress. You're moving and grooving. Things are happening. Just let things come together at this point. There may be a slight pause or hesitancy for the next step, which could be, you know, full-blown commitment or moving in or what's next kind of. This is a what's next kind of energy. I'm not sure, so let's just sit still. All right, so Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, Pisces, Knight of Wands, right? Pisces coming into play. Right? You got a lot of fire with Pisces as well, too. So things could get very exciting, very fun. You know, be prepared for any kind of spontaneity. Plans may change. That's a big thing right now. I just feel like I'm going to end this Taurus with, it feels like you may need some rest. But life's not letting you. All right. It's like everything is kind of full speed or aggravating you. And somehow or another, you're being asked to kind of live into it and see where it takes you. You know, to kind of try it on for size and see if it's going to benefit you. I love you guys. Take care. All right, Gemini, June 29th through July 5th. We're taking a look at this week. Let's get an oracle first. We got a lot going on this week, though. Full moon, Capricorn, retrograde in Cancer, Mercury, and we have Jupiter going into Leo. So Scryan is your card, and I see fire energy too as well. Plant the seeds this week. So this week, trust your visions, intuition, and plant the seeds. All right. So some of you could be questioning your future, questioning situations that's going on, and not quite sure what to do because you're not seeing any movement. Now, you had a vision, you wanted something, right? And this card here is saying to still plant seeds and work towards those goals, but maybe not put in a lot of pressure or on the expectation or the outcome just yet. Now, some things do take time. And this is asking you not to give up. You may be going through a cold spell, cold period. You know, a lot is changing. You know, you have Uranus in your sign too, which is shifting up your reality and your image, your identity, right? So you may be questioning a lot of things. And at some days you might even feel a little bit lost. Like, I don't even identify with that identity anymore. I don't even know who that was. And then on the next day, you're like, I really want that. That is still me. So if you're too confused at which path you're going down, don't give up on any. Just plant seeds and don't put so much weight on expecting them to manifest into something quickly. Like with a relationship, if you like somebody and you had a vision of being with them, but things aren't moving, but there's still something there, this is saying too, trust your vision with this. You've planted your seeds. This person knows that you like them, want them. Let it grow in the background. Keep watering it whenever you see this person, but beyond to other things, because there could be a part of you that is questioning whether or not this relationship is really for you, right? You might not even truly believe that it's for you. It might feel good. It seems like something that you could make work and it's interesting, but it might not be the best case scenario for you. God may have somebody a lot more fitting for you right around the corner. So let's take a look at tarot. Oops. All right, so some cards. Look at this. 2 cards just flew out, Gemini. Everything I did, you got the 2 of Cups and you have the Queen of Pentacles. Keep focusing on your biz, your identity, your responsibilities. Look at you trying to be a Queen of Pentacles. Got it all looking good, independent, making that money, following my career, you know, maybe even having some sort of glow up, right? You're very magnetic right now, this energy, right? So it's like the Queen of Pentacles, being sure in yourself, still doing your thing. And, you know, you might be going through a slow and steady period, like I said, but the 2 of Cups is showing here your relationships are still growing. They're deepening each time you see each other. They're deepening each time you talk to each other. But they may be still in some early baby stages, you know, where we're just getting to know, we're trying to understand each other. We're trying to figure out whether or not we have enough in common or whether or not this is still going to work. It depends on what kind of relationship you're in. You know, and these could be questions that you're deciding. You're like, is this my match? Is this my person? You know, and I feel like the first and foremost issue for you should just be you, your identity, what's going on, the things you're doing, learning, studying, growing, right? Dealing with your finances. Some of you may need to take a look at your finances if you're trying to get up that mountain and be financially secure. It could be about talking to other people, or if you are partnered, we might be talking about our expenses, our debts, or our commitments. All right, because it does look like financial and career and stability is forefront. But if you're trying to get a relationship off the ground, that looks like it should be in the back front. Like it will happen, but the time right now is for you to focus on some of these other things. So those just flew out. Let's see the week's energy. I see a King of Wands around you too. So some of you could have a fire sign that's trying to knock on your door. And I have the Devil energy here for you, your energy. Now, some of you may be getting triggered. Some of you may be dealing with some, you know, we got that retrograde. We got that Capricorn full moon. So be mindful when you get triggered this week. It's just a feeling, or it's something that maybe you need to take a look at. Why is this really bothering me? What's your biggest challenge? The Judgment card. Feeling judged? Are people judging me? Oh, so I do think some of you are going through some identity crises, a restless energy, because you are shifting and you're trying to make better decisions. You know, you need to make better decisions, whether it's financial, you know, moving, or, you know, I just feel like what's really important for you is your focus may be on relationships, but you're being asked here to really focus on your commitments, your money moves, and restructuring right now. There could be some things, that choices that you made in the past that are coming back this week that may bite you in the ass, you know, and this is where your challenge is: not making the same decisions that you made in the past, not repeating a pattern, making more conscious, better decisions this week, even when it comes to relationships. You have an opportunity to turn something in a new direction. But with the Devil and the Judgment card, we can easily let that inner critic, that Queen of Pentacles is good for that. We can easily let the inner critic take over. And then we make the wrong choice, you know, or we say something, or we blame somebody, or we blame ourselves. You know, but there's a conscious choice making this week. All right, so yours just kind of got a little pumped up right there. What's love and life? You have the Queen of Swords and Nine of Wands in love, right? So Queen of Swords, get your head together. All right, stay true to your visions. Things are going on right now that could easily be messing with your mind. right? Especially when you're not quite sure who you are right now, where you fit, or what the bigger picture looks like. You're changing. You're doing some sort of review of your life too, with the Judgment card and the Queen of Swords. You know, quit beating yourself up. Look at the Nine of Wands. What the hell was I thinking? Why did I make that choice? You're going backwards and you're blaming yourself for some of the shit that you're going through right now. You're beating yourself up, and there's just a natural setback. The setback that's happening right now does not feel, I'm yelling at you now, does not feel like it's something that a choice you made wrong. It feels like you're exactly where you're meant to be, but life might not be reflecting back to you the work that you put out. So now I see my Geminis in life looking back at their past, and now you're judging everything. You know, I do that when I figure something out, or I become aware of something. All of a sudden I go back and I'm ashamed of how I showed up. And how could I be ashamed if that was my child? You get mad at them for not knowing something? Did the best they can. You did the best you could. And look at how close you are to the finish line when it comes to something you're after, or where you're going, or just you're coming out of the darkness. You may be getting prepared right now to make some huge change in your life. You know, the Nine of Wands is like a setback right now, but when you rest up and you make your life could be turning totally different when you're ready. But it does look like you're doing some sort of review. But the review necessary for you, I think, is around your finances and your responsibilities. I think maybe you need to take a look at that right now. Now in love, I see the Nine of Wands. So we'll look at Aries through Pisces for you and see what's going on. In love, you're worn out. Maybe some of you feel like I see the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords, whether you're male or female, it does not matter. It does feel like you've been carrying a lot of the stress yourself. It's been ongoing, and one shit after another, one thing. I mean, you're a warrior, but you may have accomplished a lot of things too. The Nine of Wands is somebody who's accomplished so much. You put a lot of these burdens on your own back because you set off to do these things. You wanted to do these things. You know, maybe now it's just they're not fitting in your life anymore, and there's something new that wants to come in. But you got to give yourself a minute, because the energy is working against maybe something that you want to do right now. And it's not anything that you did wrong. So let's look at the setback that's happening in your love life with Aries through Pisces. I'll see their energy that this will be this week. You have air and earth coming out for you. Very strong. So Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. All right, so that does add a little bit more in Scorpio value here to these cards. Now, Aries, the Tower card. So prepare for some change this week when it comes to an Aries. Aries could be dealing with a lot of destruction in their life, a lot of things falling apart, a breakup, a makeup, a wake-up call. So Aries is kind of going through it, some big life change. Maybe you came into their life, or or something happened unexpectedly between the two of you. But it's hard you can't focus on this and judge the situation. And it's saying give it some time to breathe. With the Nine of Wands, there's a setback, and this is where you have no control over what's going on. Let the Tower happen. Taurus, Four of Cups. So Taurus is not showing interest. You're judging it, you're questioning everything, and you're wondering, you keep giving it a shot, you keep trying. They're either depressed, not sure what they want in love, or just not as into this right now as you are. And you're trying, you don't want to give up. Sometimes the easiest fix to this is to pull away and go do something else and see if that changes their mood. If you're gone and they're pretending that they're not interested, they'll be missing you. Gemini, you have the Three of Wands. So you are moving towards, expansion. But sometimes this is the waiting period, the Three of Wands. It feels like you just got to keep doing what you're doing and muster through your shit. wake up, show up, go. You're still headed towards it, your visions, what you see, but you're going through a lot of shifts right now, especially around your identity, that is you're going to be questioning too many things. So you don't want to make any crazy decisions, especially if you're focused on the past and you're beating yourself up. I mean, you want to be clear-headed. You want to see things objectively and honestly, not by the lens of looking at your past decisions or looking at or try to figure out. You know what I see here too? Don't try and figure out the devils from the past. You know that they're devils. Don't weigh yourself against the shit that's happened in the past. Maybe you got yourself into something or a situation and you went against your integrity and now you're still thinking about it, you're still judging yourself. No, there's devils in your life and they showed up and they fucked with you and you showed up as authentic as you can, but we can't be beating ourselves up because of somebody else's actions. 3 of Wands for you and a Gemini show you guys moving forward. All right, you're making progress. Cancer, you might want to revisit. I see Cancer's retrograde right now. So Gemini, old feelings are going to be coming up. Old patterns are going to be coming up. Things may slow down between you and a Cancer. You may both be even thinking about, where's this really going? Leo, 10 of Pentacles. So Leo looking good. Looks like Leo, you guys might have some problems, but everybody's got problems. Bottom line, deal with them. It looks like you guys will, you're invested in each other, and this could end up even being a long-term, or maybe you guys are in a long-term relationship, but you got some difficulties or you got some problems that you'll be able to figure out. Virgo, Ace of Cups. So Virgo's heart opening up towards you. This could even be a new Virgo coming in. Some of you might not even know this Virgo, but Ace of Cups, I got love for you. Let's have a conversation. Let's open this door. Libra, Page of Wands. You got Libra flirty, some good energy coming through a Libra. And so maybe they just want to see what you're up to, right? You could just get a fun text to say and see, hey, what do you want to do? But if it's a past ex, they're coming in as a Page of Wands, so be mindful. I say be mindful. Some of you don't care if it's just a sexual connection, but if you're looking for more, that's what I say, be mindful. Scorpio, 9 of Cups. So Scorpio showing up pleasantly, surprisingly, in a great mood. All right, so maybe a blessing coming in here, fully getting what you want when it comes to a Scorpio. Sagittarius, on the other hand, something's weighing on them. I wouldn't push them. I wouldn't poke the bear, because if they're wanting to end something with you, you could push it further. You could make it happen. If they don't want to end something with you, but they're mad at you or they're upset with themselves for something they did, give them some more time to really sit with that regret and that worry, because they'll make it right. But if you push too quick in this energy, somebody could easily cut it off. Capricorn, Knight of Cups. We're seeing some love and romance coming in from a Capricorn. All right, maybe even new romance, but they've got love for you. They're feeling you. Aquarius, the Emperor card. So establishing, the rules when it comes to an Aquarius. Maybe they got some strict rules, or, they want to be the one in charge, but it looks like they're initiating this week. And Pisces, Page of Pentacles. So things slowly growing with the Pisces. The Page of Pentacles can be annoying if you're in a Queen of Wands energy, or you're wanting things to really spice up. You got a slow mover here, but one that is sincere. All right. I love you guys. Hello, Cancer, June 29th to July 5th. Let's take a look at the oracle for the week and then the energy. Your main challenge and what's coming towards you in life and love. Let's see, Aries through Pisces. All right, so the edge is showing up for you. Take a chance and do something different. And this week we have the full moon in Capricorn. We have Jupiter entering Leo, and we also have your beautiful Mercury retrograding in Cancer, right? So doing something different and living on the edge and taking a chance, to me, right out the gate, just feels like a lot's going to come up for you. coming back around, you know, about the way you feel about yourself, things that you've done in the past, things that have happened in the past, situations that you thought you resolved in the past, coming back again, right in that feelings department, you know, hitting home for you. You know, and so something could reach its peak around the full moon. It's opposes you. So at the same time, it's a challenge for you as well. And it could be not what you expected. You thought you resolved something, right? And the take a chance, do something different is to look at it differently and do something different. If you already figured out what happened in the past that made something happen, this is an opportunity for you to review that and say, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to do something totally different. So if there's some change that you need to make to a situation that caused a situation to turn out not the way you wanted it to in the past, you have another chance to do over. You know, and the thing about that though too is that it does require, and it's hard to take a look at what part we may have played in something, and how we can do something different. Now, I'm also getting here too with you in life in general. You are being asked to try something totally different than your norm. And I see the Queen of Pentacles here at the bottom of the deck. So for some of you, maybe your focus has been so much on independency, career, being boss, responsibilities, and, you know, you're wanting something, you're craving something different, but you don't know. And the do something different is pretty bold. Do something completely different than you normally would do this week as well, especially if you're always caught up in doing the same thing all the time, the routine and work, and you want more fun and joy in your life. This week, Two of Pentacles, a lot going on. Seems like, you know, we got to make decisions around where we're spending our time. You may have to adapt this week to changing of plans. You know, you may have to do a lot, or some of you can become overwhelmed too and just feel like you got too much on your plate. You're just juggling life and love and and relationships. But with the Queen of Pentacles, it just tells me a lot of you, you know, a second job could be coming in, or you're thinking about a second job, or, you know, just wondering whether or not working so much is worth it. Yeah, where can I look at my finances? Where can I look at my life? And what am I avoiding if I'm working more than I need to? Is there a way to slow down on the work department and find, you know, other things to do, you know, to bring in, to be more flexible? You are being asked to be a little bit more flexible as well, too, if some of you feel very convicted and rigid in your beliefs and the way you do things. But it's a chance for you to make a decision, though, because if you're having a problem or a situation isn't working right now, it feels like with this energy, it's saying to my Cancers, you have control over this. This is something that you can fix. This is a choice that you can do, that you can make. It's not something that God needs to come in and intervene, right? This is what your choice is. Your biggest challenge this week, Ace of Wands. Some of you feeling burnt out. Some of you, you know, the spark has died out. Some of you could be short fused. So be mindful of Mercury retrograde. I'm going to keep saying that. So, you know, it's like if you're short fused, you can easily say the wrong thing. And this could be a relationship turning point or a job turning point. So the challenge is getting something initiated as well. So this could also be a relationship turning point or, you know, a job turning point if you initiate. But you have to decide, instead of going back and forth. Maybe some of you have been pondering for too long and it's time to make a decision. You know, so there's a lot been going on here, but it looks like this week it is asking you to finally move and do something, because you could miss an opportunity if you don't initiate, if you don't decide to move now. But also, on the other hand, if you're short fused, just be mindful and more patient with yourself and others this week. So let's look at life and love, and we got the Knight of Cups and we got the Page of Swords. So we got a lot of new energy coming towards you and a lot of questionable opportunities. You know, there's a conversation coming in, a direct and honest conversation. If some of you have been waiting on that, there it is. But be mindful that there could be some delays. Inconsistency is showing up for you this week. So inconsistencies in communication and in love. You could be talking to somebody new, or there could be a couple people entering your field. I do see messages, movement, communication. So there could be clarity coming in with the relationship this week. Where we stand, how we feel. Are we going to define something? If you have a lot of questions but no answers, it looks like some of that's coming in as well too. I do see inconsistencies, though, could, you know, really stress you out. So if you're under pressure because of inconsistencies with text, with communication, just be mindful that you can get pulled into a very frustrating conversation. And whatever's unresolved with one person, with one of you, could really get loud. You know, this is one-on-one, real feelings showing up. And short fuse can be, I'm going to say the thing that I only think 5% of the time. It's not something I think 100% of the time. But when I'm mad, all the 5% of the things that really piss you off are going to seem like they take over. So this is where some of your old feelings could be coming back around, and you really could, you know, you got to be patient with yourself, and there needs to be some mutual understanding when it comes to conversating with other people. Now, it can be reversed too as well. So in love, you do see somebody who has deep feelings for you, and maybe there is some questions that need to be answered, or somebody's looking to ask you out if you're single. And that's what I got. All right, so you got water and air showing up for you, but let's see Aries through Pisces. Let's see who's calling, who's coming in. We have Aries. Aries looks like, you know, they're ghosting. They're gone. They've been holding back and distant. But if they have been, maybe this is where they're finally, you might have a random ghoster come back in Aries this week. And also you may, you know, in general, that could happen because of the retrograde. But Aries may show up again if they haven't, or if they're a ghoster, they may ghost again. All right. And maybe not being direct, which can be very hard, because could you say something? Could you just tell me why? Taurus, I'm seeing direct conversation with the Taurus. You know, it's like, we need to talk about where things are going. Right? They like to have control of the situation, though. So maybe they're feeling like this is a time for them to initiate. Gemini, we get the Nine of Cups. So far for Taurus and Gemini, it does look like they're showing up to say it, to make you happy, to show up, to determine a direction of where things are going. And Gemini is just happy as can be, and wanting to see you. Cancer, Page of Wands. So I am seeing some fire for you, and being playful and taking a chance here too with the Page of Wands. And it could be just about lightening up and bringing some more joy and fun and creativity into your communication with another Cancer. Leo, judgment, right? So be mindful of judging each other, making judgments, truth calling. You know, like I said, you may say the thing that, or they may say the thing that Could be the truth too, could be the heavy truth, but that doesn't really bother you, the weight of it. You know, it may come across like very harsh, right? Harsh judgments. But there's a chance for a turning point for you and a Leo, depending on how you communicate with one another. So we're resolving some major issue with a Leo. Virgo, King of Wands. So Virgo wants to hang out. Virgo looks good. They're looking at you, feeling drawn towards you. You know, Virgo's got a lot going on though. So they might not even be worried about what you think they are. So if you're like, what are they thinking? What? Probably work. Probably not about you. 99.9% of the time, other people are not thinking about us as much as we think they are. And they have life and shit they got to deal with. Libra, the Hanged Man. So things look like they could either go silent, or if they've been silent, they could be popping back in to say hi. Be mindful that we're a Libra, but it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. It still looks kind of stagnant. Even if it's just for right now, it's just not really budging. Scorpio, Five of Swords. Confusion with a Scorpio. Don't try and read into things too much this week. Be mindful that a Scorpio, this is where things could be misunderstood, misread. You read between the lines. You feel like there's some deception or maybe just confusion. And, you know, maybe there is. But what if there isn't? And what if it's just in your head and then we manifest it, right? You know, but what if the truth is you're just tired of guessing and being confused and mixed signals? You know, because that's still showing up. It could be a past Scorpio coming back in with the same repeat. It's about you weighing out the energies. Where are you gonna do this again? There could be some blaming each other there too. Sagittarius, it looks like you're moving forward. Now this can be moving on from any kind of uncertainty, a difficult situation. You're finally getting through it. You guys are finally deciding to see where things take you. And or it can be moving on for some of you. Like some of you, it's just like it's time to move on. We need to get past that. It's too confusing. There's no reason it should be this hard. Capricorn, same thing. 10 of Wands. There could be an ending with a Capricorn, or just deciding that it's just too much, it's too hard. It's time to have the talk. Aquarius, I see the Five of Cups. I am seeing some sadness here this week with an Aquarius. They could be feeling regretful over something, harsh, feeling sad about something, or just feeling naturally depressed, right? So there could be that energy. They might not be very receptive to you. Maybe they need a little bit more time to process what's going on. Pisces, the Death card. There could be an ending with the Pisces, or a chapter ending, or, you know, but the thing is you already know, whatever it is. It could be just an ending to a chapter, an argument, or a relationship. I love you guys. Leo, June 29th through July 5th. Let's get your oracle first for the week, and then look at the energy, your challenge, and what's coming in love and life. All right, Leo. Remember why you came here. Be bold and legacy the records. All right, so this week could be a week of initiating, deciding to take charge of something that's going on in your life, or, you know, just remembering again why you're doing something. Why are you even here? You know, what's happening? You know, what's my long-term plans and goals? You know, what decisions am I still on the same page? Am I still wanting the same things? Am I still headed in the same direction? I don't know. So this could be kind of also a silent type of week where you're just questioning a lot of things. We have Jupiter going into your sign, which is going to expand. And Jupiter expands everything. Jupiter expands your questions. Jupiter expands your lessons. Jupiter expands your luck. Right. So you may see some signs of that all happening, your luck changing. But if you've been quiet or silenced in some way, you know, this is also where that's going to be expanded, you know, in pop, you know, because Leo can't be silent for too long. And, you know, being heard and being seen too this week. So, and this is a week too, if some of you really been, you know, wanting to try something, wanting to say something to somebody, do something, you know, you are being asked to be bold and brave and go for it. And even if you feel a little insecure, you're not feeling like yourself lately, you know, maybe you've had a rough time, right? Or just been working hard, and you know, but I feel a reset coming in for the Leos, right? So this is this week could be where you're first starting to see a little tidbit of maybe what the year is going to expand. Now, wherever, you know, you Leo is in your chart could enhance that area. So for some of you, if you're Leo rising, obviously the first house, this is your identity. So things that you've been wanting to change or express about yourself are going to be shown. And the negative things, Jupiter does enhance the negative things, so we can't say we didn't see them. Eight of Wands overall energy at the bottom here, which is showing a lot of things coming at you at once. You know, maybe it's been happening for a while and you're just under a lot of pressure, feel like, you know, you're running out of time or you just never have enough time. So this kind of energy feels like maybe you need to rest a little bit, right? Maybe you're burning yourself out trying to do something that in a way like you used to do it, but it's just not working for you anymore. Now it's becoming pleasure is becoming pain now. It's like, or, you know, joy is becoming a chore now. Work is, you know, just things like that. It's like the excitement is starting to die out. And you're starting to burn out. So you may need to just kind of give yourself a little bit of a reset before you make any huge decisions. Now, this week you could, like I said, there's some poking through of some new starts here, some new aha moments, some clarity coming in around situations. So this is where you may start to see things change. You may hear from somebody, you may hear something, or you may realize something this week that changes your perspective. This could be a good week too if you're thinking about you know, anything to purchase, right, with this. But with retrograde, you might be thinking about it, but this could be research it and don't sign anything unless you're 100% sure, and you read between the lines, because sometimes there can be some problems with contracts, documents, and things like that. So it is saying there's some new starts coming in. Just make sure to review everything and don't react or answer to anything too quickly. Your biggest challenge, the Knight of Cups. Some of you here really shutting down when it comes to your heart, right? Really shutting down. You know, it's like maybe you don't feel seen. Maybe you've been hurt by somebody who you've given your heart to. The challenge can be a player coming back around. The Knight of Cups to me can be the real player. It's like the charm, the magnetic, being magnetic, you know, it's emotional, you know, it's not just sex and fun, but it's just like, it feels real, but then it goes nowhere and it can hurt, right? So somebody could be trying to show back up into your life, especially during the retrograde. But what I also see too is maybe some of you singles are just like, where's the love, right? But maybe you have also closed down your heart and you're afraid to be vulnerable, right? You don't know how to be vulnerable anymore because maybe you just don't trust anybody right now. It doesn't mean you don't have a heart, you know, and you're not receiving enough love or being seen. I'm seeing that too as well. Maybe you just feel like the people around you don't see that. Maybe you're hurting, or that maybe you just need a big hug. You need your mane kind of brushed a little bit. So in love and life, look at the devil. Life too, Knight of Swords. You got to make some choices when it comes to who you're dating. Sorry, I'm being mom here, Leos. You know, there's love to be had, there's people to be, you know, talking to, there's this, but there's a devil. There is an addiction you have. Some of you could be dealing with an addiction, a hidden addiction, things that you're dealing with behind the scenes, nobody's business but yours. That could be really affecting. You could be drowning out your feelings in an addiction, right? You may need to make a choice about that, because that could be affecting your choices when it comes to relationships. And now, if it's not just an addiction, somebody, well, it is with the person, or it's an obsession with, some of you could be dealing with that, obsessing over somebody that you gave your heart to, or obsessing over, you know, just obsessing, you know, just feeling, and it's wearing you out, right? Now I'm seeing an air sign, and I'm seeing 2 knights show up. So you have a couple people showing up for you, and I'll look at Aries through Pisces, but it's like, what's their intentions? You can't trust everybody's intentions. So you may be closing a chapter, or there could be a big aha moment. I see the problem, right? And if there's an addiction or any kind of negative fear-based story that is happening between you and lovers, or you and relationships that you're in, the Ace of Swords tells me you might be able to see this week where you can see what needs to be done or what needs to be said. So you may see signs of things changing in a different direction suddenly. You know, right now, I would say, don't get caught too much into things needing to be certain right now, because there could be some things clearing out of your life in a new direction here, you know, about to happen. But you may get stuck on a belief, or you may assume something, and then it can change overnight. And it's just, and there could be just so many things coming at you at once that it's hard to see clearly. So rest, and it looks like there's a reset getting ready to happen, but you'll see the direction you're going in, or be able to see clearer, especially with this Ace of Swords here. But to me, it just feels like somebody could be coming in, fogging up your phone and trying to get your attention, which could derail you a little bit. Now, in life in general, the intentions is there. What's your intention? Do you have the same intentions with what you're doing in your life? Are you really invested in it? Did you get everything out that you wanted to? And is there something different that you're looking for, that you wanted? Maybe you got lost down a path for a second, and now it's time to, you know, kind of revisit and look at things a little differently, and see which direction that you want to go in, and be mindful of your intention when it comes to your work. People can feel your intentions. People can sense you. And if you have motives, or any kind of motives with this devil card showing up, when it comes to work or relationships, it will show through. It will, you know, people will be able to pick up on your energy. All right, let's see Aries through Pisces. If you're connected with an Aries this week, it looks like they're, you know, trying to do by you, trying to put in some energy, giving back. Maybe they'll pay you back. But, you know, you may be talking or renegotiating the relationship as well. It's like that you guys care about each other, but are we just friends, or are we going to go somewhere else? Are we going to keep this going? You know, maybe we just need to talk about what's fair in the relationship. Taurus, 5 of Pentacles, right? So Taurus still feeling down, maybe, you know, a little gloomy, a little bit upset, or just feeling under the weather, right? It's a mindset with a Taurus. This is Taurus's energy here. Sometimes they can just get stuck, and, you know, everything's gonna turn out shitty. I was dealt a raw hand, poor me. You know, it's kind of like the earthy side of a Scorpio. You know, Scorpio's the same way. And but that's what you're dealing with, and maybe it weighs you down. Maybe there's a conversation we need to talk about. You know, I don't feel supported, because they may not be supporting you. They may not be as supportive as you need, or meeting your needs, right? But it's not something you guys can't figure out. Gemini, 10 of Pentacles. So you and Gemini could be dealing with some problems as well, but you guys will get through it. It's like just regular problems. Maybe we're blowing things up. Maybe we're, you know, making something more important or bigger than it has to be. But whatever you're going through, it seems like you're both pretty invested in long term, or there's something about the connection that keeps you very close to each other. Cancer, the Temperance card. So just let things happen with a Cancer. Don't rush things. Don't force things. If you try to force it with a Cancer, you could make it happen, but it might not be the relationship that you're looking for. But when we force things, we get what we get. So this is saying let things let them show up for you, so you can really see what's really going on and how you really feel. But it is unfolding. Leo, the Emperor card, time to take control over your emotions, your life. You know, you're showing up as a big boss though, you know, and you got a lot on your plate. Maybe making plans, reestablishing the foundation with another Leo. Virgo, Page of Pentacles, off to a good start with a Virgo. You got a Virgo here wanting to talk to you. Libra, Ace of Pentacles, also wanting an opportunity with you. This could be somebody new coming in as well with the Ace, like a Libra that you haven't met yet. But I want to give you a solid opportunity. Scorpio, 5 of Wands, competition, aggravation, and trying to control the situation. Don't push too hard. Don't try too hard. There's some tension there. And this week, you know, an energy like that could end in an argument, or if we play our cards right, we could actually come out alive and successful. Sagittarius, I also see sort of maybe an opportunity. I mean, there could be a chance of an argument, you know, or, you know, needing to defend yourself, or they're defending themselves. So there is a block, there is a wall up, but this is a chance to face this challenge and maybe get closer. Capricorn, I see Judgment, making a very important decision this week. Maybe you're finally seeing the truth about a Capricorn, and you're able to make a decision that finally gets the relationship to move. Aquarius could go quiet. They're still thinking about you, but they're more in a silent mood, just observing and seeing what you're up to. Pisces, 9 of Swords. Pisces at the end of their wits. I don't know, for some of you, don't push too much at this one, but Pisces maybe is losing sleep, stressed out, either stressed out with you, stressed out with the way you handle things, stressed out with the way they handle things, just stressed out in life. But I don't care what the stress is, it's worry. And when somebody's this worried or this much stress, usually the decision they make or the reactions they have in the moment aren't going to be favorable. So I would give it some space, not push it with the Pisces just yet. There could be forgiveness coming in, but if we push too soon, it could end. I love you guys. Virgo, June 29th through July 5th. We have a Capricorn full moon, Mercury retrograde in Cancer, and Jupiter moving into Leo. Big week, big week. Take a chance and do something different. Live on the edge. All right, not too shabby. So, you know, but this one here, it's like you've got to do something. You have to be the one to initiate the first step. You're the one that is in control, right? Now, if you've been bumping your head up against the wall because you cannot figure out what to do for a situation, and you keep doing the same thing and repeating and doing, you're going to get the same result. So I am seeing here, you do have to, because this is retrograde energy. Something could be coming back around, the way you're feeling, what you're doing, you know, but you go at it the same way just because it's what you know, it's what you're familiar with. You are being asked to do it differently. You know, really stop yourself in the track and change the situation. You can watch your whole reality shift in front of you. You can see how easily you can change the course of a relationship or a situation just by how you're showing up, just by what you choose to do differently, what you choose to say differently. So I am seeing take a chance though too as well. If you're trying to change your life, if you're wanting something different in your life, if you're wanting love, if you're wanting to get in shape, if you're wanting to do a different craft, if you gotta go do it. If you're bored, you gotta go do it. Quit talking about it and do it. Quit talking about our problems and change it. All right, this card just fell out. All right, you got the Six of Wands. I forget who else got that too. Was it Gemini? Maybe Taurus? I think it might have been Taurus. You have the Two of Cups, and you have the Six of Wands. So I am seeing some little wins when it comes to growing your connections with other people. So the blessings are happening in smaller increments. A lot of behind the scenes or a lot of small gestures, you know, and we're in the phase of trying new things in a relationship, doing new things, being seen differently. Somebody could come back into your life that sees you completely different than the way they saw you before. But what I'm seeing here is there's growth happening in your relationships, but you might not be seeing the intensity or exactly what you want just yet. But it's forming something a lot more real and strong. The Strength card is what I think of, right? And you may be fighting it because it's not as intense or visual, or it's not doing everything that you think it should. But man, the bond is weaving itself when you're not looking. And pay attention to little wins this week when it comes to everything in your life. Little wins. Focus on the present moment, just getting through one task at a time. I am seeing you're getting ahead of the game. So there could be some proof this week that something is good, something is working out, something is real. You're being acknowledged. You're seeing where there are successes in your life. You know, you could get a promotion with this card, right? Or just be seen or feel like in public people are talking to you more, seeing you more. Your hard work, people just always come to you for everything. So very good week for all this, but this is also confidence to be able to, like, if you reach a certain point, I am seeing do something different when it comes to relationships. Your biggest challenge this week is the Two of Swords, constantly on the fence or talking yourself out of something. You want the proof before you make a solid choice. That's why I feel like even with the Two of Cups, it's like your relationship is building while you're focusing on what you think it needs to be or what needs to happen. You know, and so your biggest challenge is getting stuck in your own belief, getting stuck in your own head this week. And procrastination can also be your biggest challenge this week, you know, when it comes to not second guessing everything and trying to play it safe. Let's look at love and life. Love, you have Knight of Cups, if somebody trying to love on you, and the Page of Cups. So you're seeing here something trying to expand for you, love trying to expand for you. You have a couple people around you, you know, you have somebody younger too around you. You have opportunities for those of you who are single. There is something growing. There is somebody who wants to open up. There is somebody that wants to talk to you. It looks like your relationship is really showing up as very important. in life too as well. Maybe something around children and also creativity. So some of you could be finding some sort of success through something creative that you're doing. There's an opportunity opening up that feels really good. Maybe in love again, falling in love with your life again, falling in love with your job again. So it doesn't feel loud like that, but it feels good. It feels fresh, right? But in love, you get the Knight of Cups. Somebody really falling in love with you too. And it's growing. Your biggest challenge is letting it in and focusing on all the little wins rather than what could possibly be a problem, what could possibly happen. You are being asked to be more creative. So I don't know if some of you are artistic, but that's a lot of energy there that you got to find something to fall in love with. That's your message for this week, Virgo. Find something to fall in love with. You know, if you're not in a relationship or you don't see it coming or you're not ready for it or you're talking yourself out of it, do something different, go somewhere different and meet people. If you're just having a difficult time being vulnerable in a relationship, you know, find other ways to fall in love with your life and focus on those things. And your relationships are growing on their own. And I am seeing a King of Wands underneath there. So you could have an Aries, Leo, Sag. Let's take a look at Aries through Pisces. Now, this is the energy it's showing. Somebody's love starting to peek through, you know, so it's growing, love's growing. And, you know, you got messages coming in. So we'll see Aries through Pisces. Aries, Two of Pentacles. So inconsistency with an Aries, but they keep coming back around. Their feelings are growing for you. Taurus dealing with a difficult time, or you guys are still dealing with a difficult time, right? And this could be why you have the Two of Swords, but the love is there, and I see them coming in here with and if they're going through a divorce or going through a tough time, you know, you could be their fresh start. Gemini, Three of Pentacles. Gemini really wanting to hang around, come back around, and wanting to work on things, right? Or wanting to get your attention, one or the other. So you got a Gemini circulating around you. You have a Cancer as well, you know, it's got fantasizing about you, and thinking about reaching out, but you still have this uncertainty energy where this person, you know, likes you, wants to keep you in their energy, but without the commitment just yet. Leo, Ace of Pentacles. Looks like Leo does want to commit or wants to get something started with you. Virgo hanging out with themselves. Virgo, come on. Take a chance and make some change in your life, right? This is the kind of change that, you know, you don't wait for God. You got to do it yourself. Right. But I am seeing ghosting with another Virgo, or feeling alone, or Virgo just wanting to be alone, or you in some sort of isolation mode. Libra, Six of Swords. So you and Libra seem to be smoothing things out. They want to see where things go. Maybe even some travel towards you. Scorpio, Four of Pentacles, still hanging on, still holding on. They ain't letting go. All right. But they are still a little selfish and stubborn, you know. You guys still building something. Sag, Two of Wands. Sag is like, I don't want to look too desperate, but I'm thinking about you. So Sag wanting to come into your life. Capricorn dealing with some difficulties, or they're being difficult, right? Or they think the relationship is difficult. It doesn't mean things can't change, but that's what's going on here. Aquarius, Eight of Swords. So Aquarius worrying about every little thing about this, is very stressed out. And they could be dealing with a lot of different opinions and circumstances, or they have a lot of opinions that are negative about this connection. And Pisces, Ten of Cups. So Pisces all about making it happen. Pisces wants to see the whole shebang with you. You could find yourself getting together with a Pisces this week. I love you. All right, Libra, June 29th through July 5th. What's your oracle for the week? And now look at love and life. Your biggest challenge this week, and then plus the Aries through Pisces. A new perspective, a study and learning. Some of you may be thinking about school this week, right? Doing something with your studies, doing something with what you went to school with. And there's information, learning something new as well. Being able to see your life from a different perspective this week. So there could be a big aha moment, you know, and also God saying, Spirit saying, you know, you keep running the same story. You keep running the same story over and over and over in your head. And it's become on autopilot and replay. And you are being asked to stop that story mentally. Stop that story. Stop playing into this person or this version of yourself that you think you are or that everybody sees you as. You know, I'm the person that always this happens to. I'm the person that, you know, gets this. I'm the person that I always do this, or I always do that, or people always show up for me like this. Those kind of things. You're being asked to mentally, in your power, shut them down and realize where you believe these things. And so they're happening to you. All right, so let's look at your energy for the week. All right. You have the Six of Wands too. That's been coming up a lot today. So overall, you know, there's focusing on the little wins this week, focusing on what's really going on. You might not be seeing all the big shebangs, you know, and like the ultimate, you know, everything is great, or I'm seeing all this, you know, big success, or I have these like heavy, intense moments. But these are about little wins. This is about little victories every day. Like things are turning up for you. Things are showing up for you. This is being rewarded, being seen by other people who admire you, and you stand out. So this week you could be doing something that makes you stand out from the crowd. There could be new people getting your attention. You know, this could be a status change. You know, some of you realize, and, you know, maybe this is about your perspective. Maybe some of you are ready for that position, but you're talking yourself out of it. And even with relationships, some of you ready for a relationship or ready to level up in a relationship, but some story or something you're saying is getting in the way and dulls it, or change, or your person will reflect back to you what you truly believe. This week, Ace of Swords, trying to see the truth in everything. So I'm getting the perspective thing again as well. You may get some clarity this week. Somebody may say something to you that really you see clearly through it. Maybe you ignored it before. Maybe you weren't seeing something for what it was. You know, maybe finally somebody is saying something more direct and more clear. Honesty is a big one this week too. So we'll be revisiting Mercury retrograde, be revisiting old stories, old people may come back around, old feelings, old problems, you know, that all that retrograde stuff. The Ace of Swords is being able to cut through it and see why it's coming back around so that you can move forward and heal it, right? Or move forward and deal with it. So a lot of truth calling this week too. Maybe you're noticing where you have to speak up, where you have to say something. And this can be a door opening, an opportunity or a position. But make sure you're also, you know, studying the details, reading the fine lines before you jump right in. Your biggest challenge, the High Priestess, you talk yourself, you have negative. So I just got like a download of dump of everything that can possibly come through. Your biggest challenge is trusting your intuition, because some of you think your fear, your ego, or your doubts is your intuition. And there's just so many levels I can go on, because I do believe it all is, and that's why you got to work on your fears, because it is all. But if you're repeatedly getting hurt, your intuition will be on point. You will get hurt. You most likely will make choices or repeat a pattern that does make it happen. So that is why you maybe your biggest challenge is staying silent, staying quiet, because you don't want to get hurt again. And you try to figure everything out in the silence, but your subconscious has you thinking things that are not true. You got to trust yourself more, but also it's working on these falsities that you keep telling yourself. Things, feel uncertain, and and you can get caught here. So the challenge this week is knowing something is true and trust in yourself, but also speaking your truth, not silencing yourself. You may feel unseen. You may feel like people don't listen to what you're saying, and nobody sees you. No, everybody's doubting you. So your perspective is really big, and it depends on this high priestess being as a challenge is going to be a challenge for you. Because like I said, sometimes your negative talk, it is your intuition, but is it really the truth? If not, if it's a story that you hold on to. And so that could be a challenge. Let's see, love and life. I see the Justice card. You may get some justice this week, the truth, and I got the Ace of Cups, right? You may be making peace with some things. You may be signing a contract also, or a new contract as well. Dealing with something legal is really showing up here. But weighing things out in life, weighing things out in love, it doesn't matter. Ace of Cups, it looks like there's an offer trying to come in. There's somebody holds you in their heart. Somebody thinks about you emotionally. But you have this energy of afraid to be betrayed, or discerning, or weighing things out. You weigh everything out so much that you sometimes don't even know if you can trust yourself or trust your decisions. And this could even lead you to going back into thinking about the past and thinking about how things happen. And, you just constantly getting stuck in analyzing what could go wrong. All right. And maybe you feel like things haven't been fair in your life with that Justice card. And, I don't know, you may be doing a lot of reflecting. You got a lot of air energy. And the High Priestess is also saying maybe you need to sit with yourself this week and journal and really think about where these betrayals come from, or where this resentment's coming from, or where this injustice, or feeling annoyed because you just feel like everybody's, nothing's been fair. That could be coming up for you. All right. Ace of Cups in love and the Justice card. I said them both at the same time. I combined them this week just to kind of put them out there. You are seeing, do I have to make a decision about an offer? Do I have to make a decision about what I am settling with, what I am accepting? Because it comes down to, you can, I hear people all the time, like, it's them, I'm blaming them, or it's their fault. But we both have choices, and you may be accepting things that are not in alignment with your integrity, but then expecting something to be different later. So you may be weighing out some of this too. And some of you this week could be really going within and really thinking about why love has been difficult for you. Because it does look like somebody keeps trying to knock at your door. So let's look at Aries through Pisces. You got Pisces showing up, Cancer, and Libra. You're in this right here. So this is a lot about you this week. All right. Can't always be fine and not really speak your truth either. That's coming through as well. If you keep saying you're fine, but you're not, that is going to show up this week too, because you got to express yourself if you're holding back as well. Can't always be fine to keep the peace. Aries coming in bold and beautiful, right? I like Aries energy, right? Aries ready to take anything on. So this week you may see some initiation. Maybe they're opening their heart. You know, you just feel warmth from your Aries, really wanting to be together. It seems like they really care about you. Taurus, Six of Pentacles. So you and Taurus too, kind of figuring things out. We'll make it right. We'll make it even. Let's have a conversation or talk about where things are out of balance in the relationship. You know, maybe they will put some more effort. You just have to ask and not expect them to maybe read your mind. Gemini, Temperance card. Don't force things, not this week with a Gemini. You know, Gemini's kind of trying to figure their own path out right now, trying to, you know, just maintain. They're in no rush. And so that's the energy that's coming through, but it's still unfolding. So how you deal, if it's hard for you to deal with this energy, that's when difficulties can happen. But right now they're in a pretty chill energy. Cancer, Four of Swords, maybe pull back their energy. It looks like they're trying to heal, reset, recoup from something. They just want some time alone. Leo, Page of Wands. I got a fun energy with the Leo, wanting to flirt, wanting to play. Remember, retrograde can bring a lot of people back. And this is wanting to flirt again. Virgo, Seven of Cups, wanting to see where things go, wanting to reach out. They still want you in their energy, but they are still uncertain about commitment. Libra, Knight of Pentacles. Work, 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 work. Overanalyze, critique everything, slow moving. Maybe some of you feel just everything is about routine, work, and you wanted more fire in your life or clarity in your life. And look at you moving, you know. The Knight of Pentacles, you and another Libra moving and grooving, you know, just at a slower pace. And maybe it's because everybody wants everything so perfect. Scorpio, the Empress card, unfolding. There's unconditional love. There's something growing. The relationship will grow naturally on its own. It doesn't need any unnecessary pushing. You know, obviously there's inspired action, but this is growing. Sagittarius, Seven of Swords. There's some trust issues here with a Sag. You may be confronting them. Maybe you need to confront them. There's that Justice card. All right. If you know something's not right, or you know that you can't trust them, you know, why are you accepting them into your life? Not about accepting them as a person, a human being, and with love everybody, but you don't have to accept the offer if you can't trust it. And just waiting for them to make it right or come right is just to me, it's become a bullshit story to just make excuses not to walk away because you want it to work, but people come in right. You know, it's like maybe they weren't wrong, you know, but in our perspective, they are. So I don't know about that one. I just went on a little tangent there. Sagittarius, I would question though. Capricorn, the Fool card, you got coming back in for a fresh start. There's, you know, who knows where it goes, right? But if it's on again, off again constantly, it's going to be the same thing. Aquarius, Three of Cups, some good times with an Aquarius, you know, talking, socializing, hanging out. You know, some love growing, continuing to grow. Is that Aquarius, Scorpio, Sag, Cap, Aquarius, and Pisces, the Hermit card. So Pisces playing ghost, or if they ghosted you in the past, this could be them popping back in. So, but I'm also seeing a Pisces that's very distant and just wanting to be alone right now. I love you guys. Scorpio, June 29th through July 5th. Get an oracle for you for the week first, and then look at your energy, biggest challenge, and then love and life in Aries through Pisces. Be the mountain, slow and steady, foundations and patience. I love it. You may be somebody's rock right now and not realizing it for some of you, you know. It's like, this is to me always, I think of Capricorn energy, Saturn energy, and it's feels kind of cold. It feels kind of like, you know, just got to keep showing up even when times are tough. You know, somebody might be going through a tough time. You might be going through a tough time. And, but you're showing up as being the rock, the foundation, like you know how to hold steady, you know how to keep and wait, you're very fixed, and you're being very patient, right? And being patient with yourself, especially if you are feeling frustrated with your life right now or frustrated with the situation, all right? This is the reminder to you that, you know, you're working on something bigger. This is not a small thing for you. This, even in this part of your life, you're working on making something bigger. Your gains are coming more towards the end than some people get them right at the beginning and then it dies out. Or some people get little spurts all the time, but they don't ever reach that major peak. And you're working to, because you always want everything intense, big, you know, go big or go home. All right. And this is what I'm seeing for you. So just a reminder, slow and steady, you're building the foundation, and have patience. All right, look at the Chariot. God's got a plan, Stan, and the Chariot, every obstacle, you know how to get through it. You're going to get through it. Somebody could be returning this week, obviously, or a situation could be returning. We are in retrograde, so you're going to hear me. You're hearing me probably say that a little bit more often right now. But we always think person, right? But a situation, of feeling, something that we need to revisit that maybe we had a chance before, but we didn't acknowledge it. And now it's like, boom, here it is again. And it's like, oh yeah, it's like, all right, well, I'm ready for this now. I'm ready for this opportunity. You know, and this is also you returning better than ever. So if you've gone through some darkness, you know, a tower, or you've been pulling your weight for a while, and whatever you're going through, the Chariot card this week does show that you are growing from this, and you'll see major improvements with this, and things will start to pick up pace and accelerate. So maybe there are some good wins this week with the Chariot card. This is a bigger win, actually, even though, you know, we're looking at this card here showing patience. We're also seeing at the same time that life itself is showing up, and that this week you could be cruising through some of those problems that you've been having recently. 5 of Wands, there's those challenges. All right. So it could be inner tension. It can be tension from other people bringing you problems, conversations getting heated, or you know, maybe you feel like you just need to say something, or somebody's pissing you off or aggravating you, or you're just constantly feeling like you're wrestling competition with other things, other people going on. And maybe you're questioning whether it's the right path. Maybe you know, this week you could be questioning, why is this so difficult? Why does it have to be difficult? But, you know, it's like sometimes we may be being challenged with a past situation again to see how much we have grown, or you're being challenged with a situation to test you, just to test you, right? So let's see what your biggest challenge will be. An Ace of Pentacles. And maybe it's your luck. Maybe you're feeling like it's just not your time, or your luck, or your job. Maybe some of you need a job, right? Or you're just waiting for a new opportunity and you're getting frustrated. It's like, show me a new door. You know, I want something solid. I want to feel some stability, because this can be the planting the seed, the foundation. If some of you are kind of running around with like a chicken with your head cut off, and you have no foundation, and you're wondering about some external people or something happening, this can be an indication that you've got to build your own foundation, because you're not grounded. And maybe you're feeling anxious because you don't feel stable. You got to plant something. You got to, you know, grow something, build something for yourself. And if some of you are living kind of like life and as it comes and let it happen to me, you know, this is why you can't predict all the challenges that are coming your way. So this week may be asking you to plant the seed. So if you need something, this week is asking you, you know, you may get that sudden realization, that sudden truth here that, all right, I need to take control of this. I need to do this. I need to fix this. I need to go after what it is I want. So I am seeing that opportunities are showing up for you, but there's also frustration and challenges with it. So it could be challenging yourself to initiate, to do something, could be your biggest problem this week. Now in love and life, I'm seeing the 10 of Swords and the 10 of Wands. Perfect for a Scorpio reading. The good news is that it's over. That chapter is over. The 10 of Swords, the 10 of Wands, a lot of that was necessary. Growth, experiences. Some of it's your own fault. You know, how many times are you going to give somebody the benefit of the doubt? Some of you, it's a good thing. When it comes to life, you carry a lot of burdens. You do a lot. You make a lot of shit happen. And so this is also climbing that mountain. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. You're fighting for something bigger. Go back to the mountain. Life is not going to be easy with the path that you're choosing. If you're seeking something that is purposeful, you want it to have meaning. I mean, I have an argument going on in my head about that as I say that, and I've been having it for a while. Like, I think humans get caught up in needing to have purpose and meaning so much, and I think that it works against. I think the whole purpose and meaning is to live and be present and to not have to be productive to earn our worth. And so we're always seeking some meaning or purpose, and without working really hard, we don't feel purposeful, you know, but we do that to ourselves, you know, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of this, it doesn't have to be so hard, doesn't have to be so heavy. You don't have to ultimately show up and do what it is you're doing. You choose to. But you may be making some sort of change here this week, right? Or deciding maybe you're getting sick of carrying all this weight, but it doesn't mean that you're losing what you've worked on. But maybe you're getting tired of carrying it alone, and maybe you're looking for somebody solid to come in and carry the weight with you. All right. But the challenge for you could be trust, because look at how many times you've been betrayed. Look at how many times you've given your heart, you know, and this could be this life in general keeps throwing you curveballs. So this week could be very unpredictable. All right. But remember the Chariot card. I had to go back. God has purpose. And, you know, something that you're struggling with, the Chariot card is showing, you know, you will persevere through this. You will pull through this. All right. And these two cards are showing you that you have made it to a point, you know, where we can close that door and open up this new door. Stop fighting it. The 5 of Wands. Stop fighting. If you're trying to keep something alive that is over, that is ended, your biggest challenge is the opportunity. The doorway is there for you to walk out of this anxiety and this pain and this difficulty. It's there for you, but you got to be your own rock too. Your own mount. You're building the foundation, so you got to walk through and stop fighting it. All right, enough. Sorry. Let's look at Aries through Pisces. Now, this is going to be difficult because it looks like you have an opportunity here to develop a solid relationship, but you're struggling with it. Maybe even struggling with trusting that it will work out, you know? So let's see Aries through Pisces. What kind of energy comes through for each zodiac sign? Aries, 6 of Pentacles, right? Aries want to be, you know, close buddies, friends, you know. I care about you, maybe putting in a little bit more effort. Depending on what kind of relationship you're in, if it's too friendly, you got always negotiating, if you're always negotiating and you haven't even gotten a relationship yet, I mean, that's a sure sign that you're going to be spending the entire relationship negotiating. You know, yes, there's an okay to compromise, but just to get what just to get the attention, that can be difficult. But I am seeing partnerships or in Aries, you guys can get on the same page and make it work. Taurus, King of Wands. Taurus is making it happen, showing up as a king, all right? Big heart, very compassionate, Leo energy. They may show up and shine through for you this week. Gemini, same thing. Gemini, the Sun card, right? Now, the Sun card comes after is ruled the 10 of Swords here. So it does feel like, this could be new energy trying to show up for you too. Now, I know some of you might be like, I have a Gemini on my mind. If it's healthy and it hasn't been a 10 of Swords energy, it looks like they're falling in love with you. If it's an old Gemini, it's time to let new love in. Cancer, Page of Wands. So some fun and playfulness with a Cancer. Phone calls and flirting. Leo may be on a rest, on a break, needing some time out. A little bit of space will do you good. Virgo, 7 of Swords. You may want to question things with a Virgo. They're obviously, either holding something back. And the 10 of Swords and the 7 of Swords. I mean, how many times? I mean, you see it every time. You can't trust it. Libra, Judgment card, maybe making an important decision with a Libra. You could turn your relationship totally in a new direction with the way. Maybe you're reconciling with the Libra too. Scorpio, you have the Hierophant. Life lessons. That's what your whole reading seems to be about. Life lessons. Things are not going to come easy, but there's a difference between working for what's meant to be yours and working for something that, it's clear that, God, divine is saying, shut this door, stop torturing yourself. Lessons for Scorpio. You and another Scorpio, maybe finally leveling up, you guys seeing things for what they are. Sagittarius could be walking away. Doesn't mean they don't care about you, but they just feel like it's the best thing to do right now. Capricorn, 8 of Pentacles, could be minding their business right now too. You guys still have some sort of commitment to one another, but right now they may be trying to focus on other matters. Aquarius may come in and, they could be feeling guilty about something and wanting to be honest with you. It's weighing on them. And Pisces, 5 of Pentacles. So Pisces still kind of grumping over, some misfortunes that's happening to them or just feeling like they've been dealt a raw hand. So you do have sort of a withdrawn energy from a Pisces this week. I love you guys. Sagittarius, June 29th through July 5th. We have a full moon, we have a retrograde, and we have Jupiter entering Leo. So let's see the energy for you this week. First, Oracle, Love and Life Challenge, and then Aries through Pisces. So somebody else got this. I wonder if this was Gemini. And that would make sense. But trust your vision, intuition, and planting seeds. This week may be a week that challenges you, that challenges your beliefs. The outside world, the external world might not look exactly how you thought it was going to be. But is it still moving towards your vision? This is where trusting that the seeds have been planted, and that just because circumstances don't match what you envision just yet does not mean that it is not working out for you. So things could confuse you this week. So let's see what's going on with the tarot. Ultimate trust and faith in your visions and what it is you want this week. There's even the Magician card here, and not doubting yourself or making any extreme decisions out of fear. you know, and it could be that full moon could bring up, you know, insecurities or energies that make you feel unstable when it comes to your resources. All right, we have the Page of Wands. So this is more of a fun energy, very dating energy, connecting with somebody, flirting with somebody, energy, excited. All right. And, you know, this is where maybe something is getting started with you, or you've been flirting with somebody. And, you know, it's like where you saw it going somewhere, you saw it going so well, but it's still kind of like nothing is, you know, transpiring from it, or you just feel like you don't understand what's going on. It's saying still keep it. It's still in this hot energy of just flirting and playfulness, and let it move without forcing it into shape if it's not ready yet, right? You know, this could be a lot of other people playing an important role in your life this week. And whereas sometimes, you know, you just don't have the ball's not in your court. It's sort of what's going on in your partnership. What do they need? What do they want? What are they doing? And you're ready, you're wanting it, but you have to let the cake bake. And that can suck. That can suck, you know, but in your reality this week, what also can happen is sudden developments, especially with the full moon, that starts to get real that you didn't see. And maybe in the past, I'm even talking that maybe you thought something was going to go somewhere, but it wasn't. This could also be the week where those kind of things finally start to get real, and they show back up, and there was nothing you could do about it. There's just some things we have no control over, and this is that kind of week for you. So Nine of Swords. There's not, you're losing sleep or stressing, reminiscing, ruminating, figuring things out, spending too much time in your head about something. Well, what somebody's thinking, what somebody's doing, what's happening at work, what's happening with your money, what's happening with anything else that's going on in your life. You know, maybe you're wishing you did something different, or could have done something different, shoulda, coulda, woulda. You know what they say, you know, I mean, come on. It's like something needs to be put to rest. There's unnecessary worry is what I'm seeing. And now we're looking at the week and we have a retrograde. So this could be unnecessary worry that's coming your way. And this is where ultimate trust that certain seeds that you have planted or certain choices that you have made will pan out for you. Right? It just might not look like it in the current circumstances. Your biggest challenge is the devil this week. You know, this is, I just heard high voltage, you know, it's like intense. You know, they could be with the Nine of Swords, you know, past regrets coming back up for both of you. The challenge is not getting lost in your shadow, not getting lost in your nightmares, not getting lost in your fears. And cutting attachments to certain things that you have, whether it's money, material things, relationships, a person. You are stressing and worrying and panicking and anxiety that may be, now, not every one of you, but that's what's coming through. You know, and it's showing me that your vision is still coming true. And, you know, ultimately right now, it's like, take care of your health. What do you keep replaying? What story you keep telling yourself in your head over and over and over and over again? The devil's taking over. An entity attaching to you, you know, fear, stories, whatever it is, taking control of your mind. This can even be addictions, drinking too much, smoking too much, taking anything, ingesting, you know, just trying to ignore or numb out what's going on in your situations because you have no control over it. So who's coming towards you in love and life, or what's coming towards you? And I see the Two of Wands. Something's already been activated, and you got to slow down a little bit right now. All right. So this week we see the Two of Wands. There's a lot of anticipation. Something's been activated, and something is like at the precipice, getting ready to just evolve. All right. Now, you may be very intentional and you're so used to having a direction or making a choice quickly that there's something here about stalling because I want to make sure I make the right choice. I want to make sure I do the right thing. I want to make sure this is what I want. I don't want to make a decision too quickly and regret it. And I see a lot of fear-based thinking here. So even people in your life could be feeling that from you, like you're very hesitant to make a choice. And so they're hesitant. They're a mirror back to you. They're hesitant to make a choice. Some of you might even be thinking in love, like, do I have to make a choice? Why do you have to make a choice right now? Your ego, your mind, you put that, you're your own parent. I have to make a choice. All right. Unless it's affecting you financially, your health, or something that you have to make a choice to, it's not good for you. I need to make a choice. I need to get going now. It's saying make a choice now and do it because it's hurting you. Yes, that's a sudden decision to do something that is good and right. And that could be something that's happening this week too. In love, maybe you will decide, you'll be the one to reach out. You'll be the one to make a decision on where this is going. And also in love, though, I will look at Aries through Pisces. This could be somebody who's just getting ready to reach out, but they want to make sure that it's intentional. They want to make sure that it's what they really want. And when you have this kind of energy here and you don't trust because somebody's holding back a little bit, because it does look like anticipation, like you need something to happen fast so that you could feel comfortable, because the devil is uncertainties, fear, jealousies, just feeling like everything could possibly go wrong. So I need to rush. And I feel like for some of you, if you rush something too much, and you try to force something this week that's not ready, it may suddenly turn into something else that ends up becoming the devil. And then you could end up feeling like, why did I do that? Now I'm also could be reading the energy of the people around you that are feeling the same way. If you're wondering like why somebody's holding back, I am seeing here, I don't want to make a decision too quickly. Bottom line. So let's take a look at Aries through Pisces and see what's going on. So I see here, I'm making a choice. Which way do I want to go? And I don't want to choose the wrong path. So if there is any challenges with addiction or challenges with triggers or any unhealthy behaviors or patterns that's going on between you and any one of the zodiac signs, this is going to be why your person may be, not sure which direction they want to go in. Now, for some of you, your person could be, finally leaving a situation or closing a situation or trying to give another situation enough time and space to heal before they jump into a new situation. So this week, it's really about what other people do. It's nothing you can do, nothing you can control. I feel like if you try to force it, it'll go in the direction you don't want it to. All right. So let's see what happens with Aries. So you got Aries over here on the fence. That's what's driving you nuts. They're not being consistent because they're still weighing things out and trying to see if this can work. Or I have a lot going on and I don't know if I can make enough time, or I'm always having to change plans. But I do see that you guys are still moving forward, but you're at a really important phase of whether or not this can work out or not. Taurus, I see quiet and staying by themselves. All right. They're withdrawn to try and figure out themselves, figure out what they want. Maybe they're just not ready to talk, ready to connect just yet. They sometimes need to just process alone before they make a huge decision about a relationship. Gemini, the Hanged Man, you got them kind of hanging around too. They're changing. A Gemini is going through a lot of changes right now. They don't even know, where they're at or how they got to where they're at. They're trying to figure themselves out. So you may get some silence with the Gemini as well too. Try not to rush things or say things or make choices that you'll regret. Cancer, I see Page of Pentacles, right? So Cancer here, opening up conversation this week. This could be one of these moments where it's love, it's real, it's sincere, it's a development, you know what I mean? It's like, I want to do something, let's take it slow, but my heart's there. Leo, Magician card, right? So working things out with a Leo, or just feeling very attracted to a Leo, and they're attracted to you. So very good week. That this could be very sudden and almost like magic. Like, where'd this come from? Instant. Virgo, the Chariot card, also fast, hitting the gas. You and Virgo, full speed ahead, full send. You both want what you want, and it seems like nothing's stopping you. Libra, Three of Pentacles. You and Libra are trying to figure things out. You're making improvements. Something's improving in your relationship this week. It looks like it could be around money matters, shared resources, or other reasons they need counseling or help, or just working together and trying to get to know each other. But it looks good when it comes to a Libra. Scorpio, walking away. It looks like Scorpio kind of feeling, uncertain, but they just feel pulled to be alone. Doesn't mean they don't have feelings. It's just, I need to figure myself out. And I'm getting that for a lot of your people, Sag, you can't control this. And the more we push when somebody's trying to be alone, the more we push them away. Sagittarius, Knight of Wands. I am seeing here, Sag, you got some fire. You are on fire. You've got to trust your visions and not let the reality. There are things going on right now that are out of our control, and people are not always seeming to show up exactly, but that does not mean that's what we think, right? And this week is one of these things where you're still moving and grooving. There's still attraction between you and another Sag. They may just all of a sudden show up, and it just throws you off because you didn't have to force it. Maybe with another Sag, you don't have to force it. And once you get through this little illusion, you may notice that everything just starts to pan out naturally, and you don't have to force anything. Capricorn, using discernment. It looks like they're thinking about you, and they're, objectively, they're trying to figure out where you fit, what's going on, what you said. So you could communicate with them unexpectedly this week. Aquarius, falling in love, but obviously there could be another lover involved, or making a choice of whether or not they want to do this again. It just can be anything when it comes to this, that you've got their heart, they desire you, but I need to figure out what the plan is. What's the plan? All right, so Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn. Pisces, I see the Four of Wands. So good times with Pisces this week. I think you guys want to spend some time together. You want to hang out. You could be finding yourself just sharing some good old quality time together, which feels really nice with a Pisces. I love you guys. Capricorn, June 29th through July 5th. Let's take a look at your oracle for the week, and then the energy, any complications. Love and life in Aries through Pisces. We have a full moon in your sign this week, so you're going to feel that. Hopefully it feels really good and refreshing. And look at this. The road is clear. You know what to do. Walk it your way. We also have a retrograde where at the same time, and Jupiter going into Leo. So this week is going to be new energies. All right. So you know what to do, though. You know how to do it. You know how to move forward. You know how to grind. You know how to get up, show up, keep moving forward, and resetting yourself every day. It's like there's a long road ahead, and the light is not as far away as you think, right? You can see it. There's a path forward, and I do see the terrain changing a little bit. But this isn't about second guessing yourself and deciding to turn. It's looking like a straight and narrow road forward. Right? So a quick change of plans, or second guessing the path that you chose, or, is not the kind of week this is. It looks like pretty straightforward. Stay in your lane, keep moving forward, and do your thing. Now, this is like not a week to convince other people, not a week to, try to explain yourself over and over and over. This is, I do what I do, and this is why, and you can follow me if you want. I don't have time this week to do any healing work. All right, so get out of my way, that kind of road. You know what I mean? I'm just kidding. It reminds me of like I'm healed until somebody pisses me off type of energy. So let's take a look. All right, and maybe the full moon, maybe the full moon is a good time for you to go somewhere on your own, right? Because everything be coming up that you, that's stressing you out, pissing you off, telling everybody where they're going wrong, what's happening. I got a mouthful. Maybe it is good that you go somewhere for a couple days, right? Hang in there. You know what to do. Look at this King of Swords, detach. You have Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. You do have somebody showing up in your life. This could be, your challenge this week, or the energy this week is other people's perspectives, or trying to explain yourself, making decisions that might not be the most popular with everybody, right? When we have to make the hard decisions, usually people don't like it, right? And it's detaching a little bit from the outcome and needing to know all the answers, and pulling away a little bit if things start getting a little chaotic, or if you start feeling like intense emotions, or other people are, you're absorbing their energy. This does kind of say, all right, hey, keep it light, kind of walk away. Let's do what's right. And this energy can be aloof and solo too. So maybe this is a week where that is you not trying to entertain, other people. Two of Wands. All right. Get out and go and make those plans. You have options. All right. I can go down this road, or I can go down that road. So this week could be a week of obviously choices. There's a turning point here where which direction you want to go in. This could be with work. All of a sudden, something, I really do want to go down a different path. I'm out of here. Don't quit your job. Don't quit unless you have another plan, or you can, right? Or you have it like that, right? But I am seeing here you have a road this week ahead is contemplating options that you have. And if you want to do something different or fun, looks like you could be finding yourself analyzing your options as well too. Do I want to date? Do I want to go out? Do I want to make plans with somebody? This is all about you. This whole week is whatever the hell Capricorn wants to do. All right. This isn't about waiting for God to speak. This isn't about waiting for, the tower, to come, or something to change. This is you actually deciding how you want to roll this week and what you're going to deal with. So if you're struggling with partners, and it looks like somebody could come back, right? With the Two of Wands, this can be something that's not closed in the past and you're trying to move forward. It's your choice. Everything is whether or not you want to dally around with it, right? So what is your biggest challenge? And I see the 10 of Cups. So this week, the focus really could be on relationships regarding the people that are closest to home with you. All right. Biggest challenge might be some things that need to get done around the house, some things that future planning or relational dynamics, family dynamics. But definitely a lot of relationship stuff. And it could be plans about home life, or something that's coming up that we need to deal with. All right. Making choices about the direction of moving home, who's living in your home. Financial energy too here. I need to make a choice about my path, so you could find yourself thinking about your future. And if nobody's working with you, or you feel like, life's working against you, or people are dealing with so many problems, you can't let this stop you from your goals, because it feels like, Capricorn, you're really in a good place. right? But that you could get caught up and forget your visions and your goals because you're caught up in other people's expectations or other things that are just holding you back, right? So this is coming to the choice thing. Do I want to keep hanging out with these people that don't want to evolve or do anything? And I want something, I'm focusing on my future here. All right, so there could be some relationship issues going on this week. Be mindful of that. It could be over the retrograde as well, too, something coming back around. Now, in love and life, you're seeing the Ace of Cups and you're seeing the Sun card. So you're seeing falling in love. Some of you are dreaming about falling in love with somebody new. You may be holding on to somebody from the past just because you're bored. And maybe that's not true, bored, but that's what I always think. It's like, I don't want to be uncomfortable alone. So I would rather know I have somebody to answer my texts or somebody I can fight with, somebody I can feel a little bit grounded or stable, because without that, who am I or what am I? And there's nobody new yet. So your challenge is relationships too. So some of you really want in a relationship, and it's about making a physical choice of what you're going to do. Are you going to keep dabbling with somebody that, even a person that is keeping you from being bored, is also keeping you from growing, right? Because if they really wanted to jump in, they would. Right? I believe that. I mean, there's obviously circumstances, that's not every case, but the general. All right. Now I am seeing love and life. You've got new opportunities coming your way with that Ace. That can be a new home, somebody bringing a child home. This could be growth, reconciling, forgiveness, new love, and a new job, right? That can all show up. The same with the Sun card. It's like falling in love. Looks like you need some more playtime. You need some joy in your life, some good luck. So your luck is changing. All right. This is, something financial could be coming in that brings a blessing. Somebody else falling in love, a friendship deepening into love, a friendship realizing, hey, maybe we can make this work, right? But you got some good times coming towards you. So whatever's holding you back here, you got to decide there's one path forward. You see it clear, go for it, all right? Anything else is minutia or trying to hold you back. Now you have a Leo energy showing up, but let's look at Aries through Pisces. Aries, 8 of Swords. Right, headache. I see headache written all over in Aries. Maybe not for everybody. If some of you, it looks like new love here. It looks like new love, right? So it looks like it could, be a new Aries. But 8 of Swords out the gate is somebody that might have too much going on. Too much going on in their mind. They're stuck. They got their hands tied. They have other people that are in their ear. Just a lot of doubt and fear and anxiety. And so it doesn't mean that it couldn't possibly potentially be something, but the question really becomes, is this the headache that you want? And again, that might not be for everybody. Taurus, the Hanged Man. It seems like nothing's been changing with the Taurus, right? Or, maybe you're just feeling stuck, or you're just stuck on them, or you just feel like, the situation is just there, or you don't have a voice, or you don't feel like there's any improvements or movements. But that might not be true. All right, a lot can happen behind the scenes with the Hanged Man, but for now you may need to do your own thing while other things are processing behind the scenes. I would say this is one of these, walk your own way. You can't wait. You can't hold on. You got to surrender to the situation, whatever it is. Same thing with a Gemini, right? You got the Star card. There's a thing about wishful thinking, but there's possibility and there's hope there, but the timing may be off. So don't lose faith in the situation, but this is also saying surrender and allow whatever's going on to happen. And if you guys are meant to come back in, that's major arcana here, you guys will come into alignment. Cancer, the Moon card. Right, so Cancer cycling back around. There could be remember the retrograde can bring back people or situations or problems that you've had in the past with your people. I am thinking about you, reminiscing about you, feeling a little emotional about you, but things are still foggy and unclear, so be cautious when it comes to a Cancer. Leo, wow, look at the major arcana, Tower card, prepare for Tower. That could be an argument, misunderstanding, or something that's not built on stability is definitely going to shake up a little bit this week with the Leo. They may say something unexpected. Your relationships, obviously a turning point, something could come up that you didn't expect. Virgo, the Empress, things are still growing nicely in the background, right? And something you could see some movement this week with a Virgo that feels like I see the growth. All right, so see the manifestations that's coming through, because it looks like love is growing between the two of you. Libra, I see the same thing, not the same thing, I'm sorry. I see this energy of, there's possibilities, things are moving. You see the Two of Wands, you see the Three of Wands, so we are seeing it continues to move, but it's coming together and you can't rush things here. So this can also be if you're waiting too long or feel like you've been waiting too long. This is about moving on from a Libra. Although there is potential for you guys to continue making plans, it's just right now you're in sort of a waiting period of what's next. Scorpio, 8 of Wands. So my pickup pace, hit the gas this week with a Scorpio when it comes to communication, physical attention, and travel, right? So it could get pretty intense. If there's any difficulties between the two of you, be mindful that you guys could lose your shit. Go back and forth and say things that are honest. If you have something truthful to say, or they have something truthful to say, that honesty between you and a Scorpio is going to come out and it's going to be on fire. Sagittarius, 5 of Swords. I see confrontation with the Sagittarius. Just feels like they're always giving you mixed signals, and you just don't seem like you can clear things up or get the answers you're looking for. Constant confusion is no bueno right now. There's no, that's retrograde too. That's bringing back old confusion that never went anywhere. Right. So if something from your past is coming back and it's still confusing you, it's showing you that it was always confused and it was always that. And it doesn't seem, if they're not coming back with an answer, then I wouldn't dabble in it. You do you though. So Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, you got the Knight of Swords. So I am seeing making swift, quick decisions this week, maybe having a conversation with another Capricorn and we're knowing which direction we're going in. Aquarius, another headache, 9 of Swords. It seems like there's regret, there's guilt, there's turmoil. It feels like we can't stop. They could either be stressed out about you, the situation, something they did. But either way, I would say go your own way for the time being, because if you push too hard at this one and try to fix things without them coming towards you, it could end, right? They may just get so stressed out and not have it in them to do anything. Pisces, 7 of Swords. So Pisces, pay attention to what they're saying to you this week. All right, they could be hiding something or just not being 100% honest with you because the timing is not right. I love you guys. All right, Aquarius, June 29th through July 5th. Let's get an oracle for the week, and then we'll look at your energy, any challenges, love and life, and then Aries through Pisces. The cave, retreat, timeout, self-care, and slow down sort of speaks for itself, all right? A reset week. This could be a self-care week. If you got those appointments you got to make, you just need to give yourself a little bit more space. If you're having issues with other people in your life, something, could come up during the Capricorn full moon that is bringing some sort of closure or resolution to a situation. And you may need some moments. You may need some time to just kind of sit back. Now, I'm feeling a lot of healing and a lot of closure coming in, right? Which means you have some space to kind of breathe. So it feels like resetting, for the next chapter, right? Giving yourself a cleanse before you open the door to somebody new, which means there may be a new partner coming in. If some of you are letting go finally or healing fully from a situation. If you've had a fresh wound, that might not be you. This feels like I've had time to slow down and I have space now. I need to figure out what my plan is. So let's see the energy of the week and what might be showing up. And that could be, you know, this could be private energy, home, like when you're by yourself, you're just feeling like you're resolving some things, or you just need a little space from people so you can clear your mind. All right, you have the Eight of Wands at the bottom of the deck, so I can see that there's a lot going on at once. This does not mean that your life is going to be stagnant this week. There could be so many things that you need to confront, do, rushed against time, need to get things out. This is why I'm seeing slow down in self-care and retreat, because you may skip steps or get ahead of yourself, right? And you may think you solved something, but it could make it worse, or you know, it just doesn't get solved, right? Or, you know, so we don't want to rush anything this week. But there may be times when it's inevitable, you know, with that Eight of Wands. And there may be, like I said, blurting out of conversation. We have Mercury retrograde. An old argument could come back up. All right. Somebody tells you something you didn't know about the past, or, you know, somebody says something again that hurts you and you thought you dealt with it. And, or you really just sit with the truth about something that was said or done, or the truth that happened in the past. Whenever it's private and it just feels like you need this space to really just comprehend, it's not something you need to tell anybody about. Look at the Death card, your energy. So there's just something you can't unsee, unknow. Something is ending. And there's a lot of grief that happens there, you know, and you're healing. So depending on what stage you're in the transformation, whether something ended a while ago or something is ending now, or this is a pattern, or psyche, right? Something psychological. It just shows you that a chapter is over. You don't have to revisit it anymore. It's time to heal from it and move on. Now, your biggest challenge, the 10 of Pentacles. All right. So there could be stuff at the home. There could be problems that you're dealing with, you know, where to live, money, my home life. Do I want to move? Am I overextended? You know, or do I have it all and I don't have anybody to share it with? All right. So some of this is maybe you contemplate in this week, you know, especially if, you know, you're dealing with an end of a situation or a relationship and you're kind of looking at everything you got and not feeling really happy about things. Because I can see too, your challenge this week is, what are you working for? What are you working so hard for? Do you need to give yourself a little bit of a timeout? Because what are you hiding from if you are working all the time, but you're coming home and you're feeling lonely and feeling tired and exhausted? I mean, and you just feel like you have too many responsibilities. Or for some of you, if you don't have it yet and you're feeling overwhelmed because there's just so much you have to do to make it work and build something for yourself, especially if you left a relationship, you know, that can be kind of heavier energy around that full moon, right? And this is where breathe. All right, breathe, right? So what's coming in love and life? And I see the Tower card and I see the Seven of Swords. So this is major truth being exposed here with that energy, or facing anything that you've been in denial about. You got some major arcana showing up here. So I want to tell you, though, I want to affirm this for you. I'll look at Aries through Pisces, but you know, you have a lot going on. So there's other things going on in your life, and things could be really exciting. Things could really be picking up. You could be talking to a lot of people. You know, people being very excitable around you, asking you to go places, inviting you. You could even have a lot of new opportunities coming in when it comes to talking to people who are interested in you, right? So just because we're seeing these major arcanas here, there is something potent happening, but we do have those three major transits happening. So we see something that's unavoidable when it comes to your life. You know, it's like you're wanting some sort of change. Something has to change. Something is coming to ahead, right? It's like, I can't deny this anymore. I can't ignore this anymore. So the Seven of Swords here, it's like, I can't keep tiptoeing around the truth. I can't, or I knew the truth, or I can't keep tiptoeing around something that's not stable, because it's just not going to get me where I need to go. And it could be around even finances, home, like I said, too. And, there's some change that you need to make that's going to come to head, to light, right? And now love, the Seven of Swords and the Tower card as well too. It's like, where are you lying to yourself about love, or where are you downplaying, or where are you settling, and where are you dealing with red flags that are just, you keep trying to trust, but that the relationship is not built on trust, and it never was. And from the very beginning, it felt like a challenge. So it felt like constant convincing or challenge, or something was hidden, or something you never trusted. And those kind of relationships, if you're still in them, they're not going to be stable, and something may show up, a truth may show up. I see a truth bomb there that may show up this week around what was really going on. All right. And it's going to be different for each and every one of you. Right now, for love, somebody could show up unexpectedly in your life too. I don't want to take that beautiful energy away from that too, right? Because there could be, somebody just shows up unexpectedly, and you're like, when things are the worst for me, or when I'm feeling the worst or down, all of a sudden something exciting comes in, and you just didn't, when shit hits the fan, all of a sudden something, you walk out of a pile of shit smelling like roses, kind of a thing, right? So there could be something amazing, or someone surprising you. But I do see a lot of private stuff coming to a close. So this could be stuff that you're dealing with internally. Aries, Knight of Wands. Look at this. Aries coming out of nowhere. This is very romantic. This is a lot of chemistry, exciting. So an Aries could show up unexpected into your life, right? I would say don't rush in. They may try to rush. I wouldn't rush, because if you're coming from an energy like this and you don't have trust for somebody, or even if it's an Aries you don't have trust for, you want to slow down here and make sure that they're showing up with, in good intentions. Taurus, Four of Pentacles. So rebuilding something with the Taurus, they're still hanging in there. It's a slow but steady. Maybe you feel like you can't trust it, but it looks like you can. It's just that they're very to themselves, and it's hard for them to change, right? And they do focus on their monies and their work, and they might be good for you long-term, stability. Gemini, things could really work out with you in a Gemini this week. You may find yourself talking more, hanging out, or they're circling around, talking about you, wanting to see what you're up to. You see the Three of Pentacles, though, and it's like you guys are building something together. Your relationship is continuing to move and grow. Same thing with a Cancer, Six of Pentacles. They may be very generous this week with their energy, with their money, with their time, being very supportive. It just feels like they're wanting to show up for you. Leo, you may get the clarity with a Leo, or a message with a Leo. You see it, it's said, honest communication. It might be hard to hear sometimes, but we need to see the truth, right? So we're getting communication with a Leo. Virgo, things coming together with a Virgo. It feels like you're part of the fam. They feel you. They're connected to you. Getting together. It could even be the start of something that turns into real. Libra, Ace of Wands. So Libra here sparking up a conversation. So this could be an exciting, romantic, a new spark that starts. They got you on their mind. So I'm seeing positive energy with a Libra. Scorpio, doing their business, working on their business. They care about you. You're on their mind. They can be very to themselves if they're buried in responsibilities, very independent energy, but I see growth. You guys are growing. And if they're new in your life, it's just a slow and steady process. Sagittarius, a little questionable. The feelings are there, but it seems like a cycle, on again, off again, or it's just like you just always kind of confused. That goes up to that Seven of Swords. It depends on what it is that's confusing you, whether you just know and you just keep trying, or You know, the feelings there, but the responsibility is not there. You can have feelings all day long, but you can have somebody who's lazy and won't do shit. Capricorn, the Chariot card. Look at you. I mean, Aquarius, sorry. Capricorn, headed towards you, returning. Maybe things even getting better than they were before. This could be a new Capricorn coming into your life. Aquarius, you have the Two of Cups. I see a conversation around honesty with another Aquarius. You know, we need to talk. We need to understand what's going on here. You know, we need to have the courage to really speak our truth to one another. Pisces, 9 of Wands, so heavy energy with you and Pisces, but it doesn't look like either of you really want to give up just yet. But you got to get to the root of the problem. I love you guys. All right, Pisces, June 29th to July 5th. Let's pull an oracle to start, and then we'll look at the energy, the challenge, love and life, and the Aries through Pisces. Nothing is impossible. Open up to the unexpected this week, and you will find a way. You know, it's like, I truly believe nothing is impossible. It's just, you know, it depends on what you're willing to do or how long you're willing to wait or what distance you're ready to go to make it happen. And I also believe that, you know, we make things more challenging than they have to be. And if we just let things go, you'll see that if it's meant for you, things do work out regardless of the situation that you're in. If you truly feel a call to something, let God figure it out. All right. But open up to the unexpected this week, right? Especially if you're going through a difficult time. You know, this is showing you that you will find a way around the problem that you're in, and even if you feel like there's no way this is fixable, there is no way of changing this, you know, and this could be even with your, you know, daily life responsibilities, your health, your friendships, your romantic partnerships, your family. You know, it's like you will, you know, you might be going, this is just, there's no way you can fix this, or no way you can change this, or the choice has been done, but something is flexible. So let's take a look. All right, let's see. Just because we can't see how to do it doesn't mean it can't be done. 3 of Wands. Look at this. You're on your way. All right. So we're seeing improvements and we're seeing things come together. But sometimes in the 3 of Wands, it's like we got to do the work. You got to work. You got to put the work in. You got to get up and go. You can't just sit there and think it's going to happen. Right? We can sit there and stare out the window all day long, but it looks like you have made attempts, or you have been working towards something, and maybe it just feels like you're not getting any further at the moment. And, you know, the next step is just seeming like it's too far away. But let's see what's happening, because that energy there tells me a lot of good things are really coming together for you, but you might not be seeing it. It's happening behind the scenes, or, and it's, you know, you might be looking at the next step, like I said, as being impossible, like the ocean's too far to get across. You don't have a boat, but it'll happen. Strength card this week is your energy. All right. This is self-control. This is not losing control when times get tough. This is also physical activity and upgrades, maybe to your physical appearance and your body. Like maybe some of you feeling like, I got to get back on track. You know, emotional health, mental health, and physical health all go together. You don't have to be the top model, whatever, but, you know, it's all has to come into alignment. Maybe you're thinking about getting back in shape and you're feeling like yourself again, doing some upgrades. And it looks like you're ready for it. So it doesn't look like I'm sitting here trying to tell you to change something, right? I'm not. It feels like something that you've been really wanting to work towards. And this week is going to take some courage and strength and discipline to initiate and get things going, and to stand in your power and feel secure. Your biggest challenge, the Emperor card. Lack of commitment lack of boundaries, maybe even sometimes lack of self-control. And it can feel, it's hard for you to initiate, right? It's hard for you to step up and discipline yourself. You know, so maybe sometimes some of you need a lot more external discipline to be able to do something or change, but your biggest challenge is working through the chaos. If your life is unstable right now for some reason, or you just feel like you can't build a future where you're at or in the relationship you're at, this is really about gaining control of your life, gaining control of your path, and gaining control of your money, gaining control of just your life in general. And you have the power to do it, the influence. You have more influence over your situation than you realize. But some of you just, it's kind of like performance anxiety, or afraid to commit to something for some reason. You have a commitment issue. You know, do I put myself into this and what I'm going to fail anyways, or I'm not going to be successful, something like that. In love and life, I got the Two of Wands and the Page of Cups, right? You got some love wanting to come into your life, but you got to get started somewhere. Some of you could be trying to control everything, or you're too rigid, or you got your guards up. And, you know, maybe some of you come on strong, right? Who knows? Maybe you are very independent. And you wanted to make plans, you wanted to move forward. So if you've met somebody right now, it's still moving. It looks like you have gotten something started, but maybe you're trying to control the situation too much. And it looks like it's developing. Feelings are developing. Your person here is into you, crushing on you. You're crushing on someone. But we can sometimes in this aspect, we can want to control everything or come across too strong and overbearing, especially with this energy here as a challenge. A challenge as the Emperor can also be very, very much, it's got to be my way. It's got to be perfect. Everything's got to happen my way, or I'm not going to do it. And this can be where there's hesitancy and you're not allowing something to move forward. Right. So it is showing me that if you're talking to somebody, the biggest challenge is just wanting to maybe commit too quick for some of you, right? Or wanting somebody to commit. You're dealing with commitment issues, but it looks like something's just getting started. I don't know, you know, but you have options this week. So there could be other people around you. You can see a lot of people here. And you're at the front door. You've already started. You've already thought. You've already initiated. You know, so let's say hi and let's talk. Let's not jump to marriage or moving in just yet this week. Maybe slowing down and just coming back to the Page of Cups and, you know, seeing where we feel, how we feel about things, and not expecting or needing anything from anybody, right? Or just being more vulnerable could be for some of you this week when it comes to relationships. So you might be dealing with the control freak. You might be control freak. I don't know. You might be dealing with somebody who's non-committal, somebody who can be stubborn. You're always waiting on them to make a move. And so, you know, and maybe that's what you do. Maybe you let them reach out to you, right? And because there does seem to be a little bit of a power play here between you and other people. You know, it's like two people here that are being very stubborn. It looks like we need to soften up and be kids again and just play and just see where things go. Stop trying to control the narrative or control each other. If you're in a partnership, that could be it too. Always trying to control the other person. So let's look at Aries through Pisces. Aries, Three of Swords. So you could be separating from an Aries or dealing with a temporary disappointment with an Aries this week. It's like, you know, you try, you give it a shot, you make a choice, and it doesn't turn out the way you thought it would. Taurus, Six of Cups. Looks like you and Taurus coming together. They may reach out. This could be an old flame. But it can also just be a moment. We're just sharing some good moments together. It looks like you and Taurus are moving forward nicely. Gemini, Five of Pentacles, a lot of difficulties between you and a Gemini that, you know, whether you project them onto each other or, you know, it's just that they're very distant from you. I am still seeing withdrawn, and they might be dealing with some difficulties. Cancer showing up as a Queen of Pentacles. They may be very promising this week, you know, very interested. You're being responsible and showing up and giving you an offer or not, you know, just being available. Leo, Three of Pentacles, getting down to business and making it work, right? It looks like they want to be around you. You know, they want to fix it if that's the case, or, you know, talk about things, or just see if you guys got things in common. You guys could be trying to figure out if you got enough in common. Virgo, the Knight of Cups, Virgo falling in love with you, right? You got some good romantic nights, good times with the Virgo. Being vulnerable with you, wanting to see where things go. Libra is wanting to move in. What, you know, maybe there's a need to move in or move too fast. I don't know about Libra. But I am seeing here there's some investment, so you guys will get through your problems. Scorpio, Seven of Wands, they got their guards up. Maybe you got a block up, just kind of, you know, feeling a little bit testy, right? Defensive, right? So they could be feeling under attack, or they are ready to confront some challenge that you guys are having. Sag is also feeling guilty, maybe coming to make it right. Something weighing on them. Looks like Sag wants to maybe apologize, or they're waiting for you to apologize. That could be the case. Capricorn, falling in love with you. So if they kind of pull away a little bit, it looks like it's emotional. It's because of their emotions. Aquarius, Ten of Cups, right? Aquarius wanting to get together with you. So you may be taking that next step to where it finally feels like it's starting to become real. Aquarius, the Sun card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, that was Aquarius. Pisces, the Sun card. Pisces, you've got a promise, you got luck, you got a blessing, you've got fallen in love, romance, things actually looking way better than you think. Anything is possible. And falling in love and things looking good between you and another Pisces. I love you guys. Take care.